About a year ago, I filmed a Q&A video for my YouTube channel, questions that you guys had asked me on Instagram, and I filmed it on Hormuz Island in Iran. I found a few different spots, answered some questions about my beliefs, my philosophies, my advice to people wanting to travel the world, and a lot of people really enjoyed and resonated with the questions that were asked and the answers that I gave. So, we're doing it again here in Syria. I'm in the city of Jobar, and as you can see, this is just absolutely destroyed. The Assad regime actually bombed this city because they were resisting the government. A lot of the people here got shipped off to Idlib, and only since the new government has come into place here in Syria have people been coming back to their homes and seeing if they can retrieve anything or renovate the place. So we're gonna find a variety of different spots. I have probably like 90 questions that are on my phone of what you guys have asked on Instagram. Make sure you follow me there because I give the most live updates there, and we'll answer them. It's gonna be a very raw video. A lot of people will be interested to see what I have to say. Assalamu alaikum. Maybe it's not a ghost town after all. But we'll go through the questions that you guys have. So let's find the first spot. There's tons of buildings. The other thing to be concerned with here is there's still missiles and landmines all around the place that are unexploded. So I can't go too much off the beaten track. We'll stay on these roads for now. This is actually my 4th time here in the city of Jobar. I find it such an interesting place. It really shows you the power of the world, and when people don't align. Oh, there's a mosque right there. I've been inside of that mosque, but they're actually praying right now. It's been absolutely destroyed. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? Good. I only speak a little bit Arabic. شوي. English? لا Arabic. شو اسمك؟ محمد. Luke. أنا جوبا. واو.
ألمانيا، فرنسا.
أستراليا.
تحب تفوت معك لجوا؟
Yeah, just walk. يلا شكرا.
هلا
حبيبي.
الحمد لله.
هلا حافظ. So he is from this city. Look at the destruction of it. I will say, I am a little bit on edge here because every other time that I've come here, it's been with someone. And the previous time I was here, there were a lot of gunshots.
Christians.
But let's find one of these rooftops. Anyone home? Hello? Marhaba. This building that I'm going up to now, it's about 5 stories. And a few weeks ago when I was here in Syria the first time, I actually filmed a podcast up at the top with my buddy Arab. The interesting thing when I travel is sometimes you wake up and you're just not as like sharp, as clear, especially with your words and the kind of things you want to portray verbally. And when we filmed this podcast, I wasn't on my best performance, I must say. I had to think a lot about the words, and one thing I do want to get better at is speaking, and that's why I enjoy filming these videos. This is crazy. God, you really have to be so fucking careful going up these broken buildings. Literally could collapse at any time. Why do I always film these Q&A videos in like the most random countries? Wow. Look at this. Absolutely insane, the destruction of this place. We will get to answering the questions, I promise. Wow. Just kilometers of buildings that have been destroyed. Alright, we've got our nice little spot here. I'm going to try and keep this video as raw as possible with the least amount of cuts. And you can just put it on, you can play it and listen to it in the background. Before I get into this, let's go through the questions that I get asked every single time by people. And what camera do I use? I'm using the DJI Action 5. The 6 is out, which I'm going to upgrade to. I think it's the best camera for the videos that I create. Much better than the GoPro, which I used for like 5 years. So that's that. I have like a tripod. I'll actually just literally take a photo of this and we'll put it up on the screen. It extends and it's a tripod as well. So yeah, I find this setup is the best, and that's pretty much the question that isn't weird that I get asked every single time, apart from how many people do you sleep with in each country, have you ever slept with a lady boy, do you have a girlfriend? All those questions I get asked in abundance. How many people have you had sex with? People are fucking weird, I will say that, everyone, especially when these questions come out. So I've tried to get the most normal questions from everybody, but the first one we have: do you have any plans to have a break from traveling and settle down in Oz for a bit? So this is a two-part question because Australia is involved. There are only 2 places in the world at this point in time that I could see myself living in, one of which is Sydney, just because it's my hometown. I don't have too much of a connection to Sydney or Australia anymore. A lot of my friends are globally. I obviously do have high school friends there that I keep in touch with, but really whenever I go back, it's just for a few days to see my mum that lives there. My other family members have moved abroad. There's just really not a whole lot going on in Sydney for me, or in Australia for that matter. The other place would be Bali, where I'm spending a lot of time between trips now. So those are only 2 places that I could actually settle down in for where I'm at now. With that being said, things change extremely fast, especially in my life of traveling around the world and experiencing all these things. What I say now may change in 3 months' time to a year time. And that's what I've really had to come to terms with and understand about myself, is how rapid and how much information and kind of just like knowledge from all these surroundings that I'm actually inputting into my body and into my mind. So things change very fast for me. So that's not a definitive thing. But in terms of any breaks or any plans to have a break from traveling, no, like I've really found a system and a routine where I really enjoy travel. There were periods in the past 5-6 years where it wasn't as fun. It wasn't something that I was enjoying. I was just doing it because I knew that it'd be able to make me money, and it's kind of just like just what I had known for many years. But now I'm very content with what I'm doing, the people that I'm traveling with, the videos that I'm filming, and I don't really have any plans. But you never know. Things can change extremely fast in life. Health issues, not that I have any, your friendships, relationships, family members, things can happen very, very fast. But for the moment, I don't have any plans to have a break. With that being said though, I'm not traveling all the time. Usually I do a month of travel. This trip so far, I've been on the road for about a month and a half, and then I usually go back to Bali or another nice place just to get fit again, eat good food, be healthy, just kind of recharge. And I spend like a month there and then kind of continue on. So it's kind of like a 1 month on, 1 month off process. And that's what I found has been really beneficial, because constantly traveling full time is quite difficult. It is strenuous on the body. I'm not as healthy when I'm constantly moving cities and countries every single day. And it's really important to have a routine if you want to stay healthy and achieve some goals. So that's kind of where my mindset is at the moment. What do you think is the best content in 2026? Well, 2026 just started, so let's say 2025. It's so subjective, right? Because what I think is good content, people may not think is good content. People may think this is shit content, but others will really enjoy it. It's so subjective, and that is why I think the best content as a creator is the one that you actually enjoy creating. What's authentic to you? What do you enjoy creating and putting out to the world? Now, I'm not going to answer this from like a consumer perspective of people watching these videos, but I'll answer it from someone that creates videos. But ultimately, it is just creating shit that you want to do. What is fun in your life? Because the things that I film, there's like probably like a 10% of things that I probably would never do, and I just do it for the video. But for the most part, like 90% of the things that I do, I would be doing with friends regardless. And I think that's the best part. You want to be as authentic as possible. You want to keep it real, and you just want to have fun. Like that's what a huge realization I've had in the past year or so is just fucking doing fun shit. Just going to new places, just having fun, spending quality time with good people, and just vlogging it, just having fun. Like, it's just fun. That's the simplest way to put it. Where do you not want to visit back in 2026? In the past year, I focused a lot on visiting new places and new countries. There was a period a few years ago where I kept on going back to the same countries in South Asia and Southeast Asia because the views were good. It would obviously return money. I'd be able to make money from the good views. And I explored a lot of those places, and I had a realization probably like a year and a half ago. I was like, man, I've like been traveling for 4 or 5 years and I've visited like 20 countries. Not that country counting is an important thing, but I barely actually really seen other parts of the world. So that's why in 2025 I really wanted to visit a bunch of new countries, and I think I visited around 20 places that interested me. But in terms of places that I don't want to go back to, there's a few. Like, again, it's not just black and white, it's such a gray area. I could safely say I would never go to Burundi again. Uganda was shit, but I'll give it another go. I would give it another go to redeem itself. Other places where, like Laos, is just kind of boring. I just don't really have any need to go there or interest in going there. Where else? I don't know, like, I don't really hold resentment against countries. You may catch me a little bit out of focus here because I am just like looking at the surroundings. It is just like crazy that this is existing, the destruction. And I'm also keeping an eye out for people in case, because there are some crazy people in these areas. These are the people that lived here. A lot of them were shipped off to Idlib by Assad, which is where the revolution in 2024 actually began. From Idlib, they made their way down south and got to Damascus. So they're like so-called extremists. A lot of them are here. I have met them here before. They're fucking crazy. People say that they're gonna kill other people. So that's why I'm kind of on edge a little bit. Personal, most challenging and difficult things you have to cope with while constantly on the road. Great question. The biggest thing at the moment, although I am extremely content with the way that I'm traveling, I think it's just being emotionally aware and in tune with yourself as to like what's the limit and like how far can you actually push yourself. I'm on the road now for a month and a half. Ideally, I only travel for like 3 to 4 weeks before I have like a reset period where I can go to the gym and go to good places. But I've really been enjoying the stint of travel that I've had here. But I think it's learning when enough is enough. You have to push the boundaries in terms of sometimes maybe you don't want to film, but you do have to push it if you want to be successful. But I think now I'm a lot more generous to myself. If I don't want to film a video, I'm not going to film a video because it translates to the viewers. If you're not interested or in the right headspace or in the right vibe for people that are or for filming the video, people can see it and it will translate to the viewers and you can really tell. So I think it's just like a constant back and forth. There's times where you travel and you're just exhausted, you have crazy experiences, you have lack of sleep, and you're like, oh, I just need to get back home, I need to eat good food, I need to go to the gym. A lot of the things in this video that you'll see is that I always go back to a reset period of eating good food, going to the gym, and being around good people, because those 3 things, I think those are the core things that you need in life. A healthy routine, including exercise. Any period in life that I've had difficulties with, exercise is always the thing that I try to get back into routine immediately because I know how beneficial it is. It just makes you feel so fucking good. Going to the gym, just running, playing sports, just fighting, you feel just accomplished and you feel good. And I really think that anyone watching this video should really prioritize exercise. They should prioritize just working out, just doing some form of physical activity, because the benefits from it are just immense. And obviously there's studies, hundreds, thousands, millions of studies explaining the benefits of those, but it really does make a huge impact, not just physically but also mentally. So the most challenging thing, I think, it's just a constant awareness of where I'm at the time. When I was going through these questions as well, a huge thing was me thinking how grey these questions are, because the things that I'm going to speak about today are obviously from my opinion, and a lot of people asking for travel advice or like what I do if I'm like 18 and I want to travel the world. It's so nuanced. It's not as easy as just saying do this, do that. You are your own individual. You have so many different circumstances, financial circumstances, family circumstances, friendships, locations. There's so many different variables that what I advise to myself will be different to what I advise to you or somebody else that I'm speaking to. So nothing is black and white. It's all a gray zone. It's all on a spectrum, including myself. I'm definitely on the spectrum. Do you want to be a traveler lifelong, or at some point you want to stop? Again, I don't know. I don't think that far in advance. Like 80 years old, I can't imagine I'm doing this. I have no idea. I really don't think too far in advance. Maybe a few months in advance. I have a rough idea of what I'm going to be doing, what I want to do. But I've learned that setting multiple year-long goals and thinking about retirement, and it's just pointless. Maybe I will, maybe I don't. But I don't think it's the travel aspect of it that I'll be doing lifelong. It's just like doing cool shit and doing what I want to do, whether that's something else, just like random things like sports or reading, just like doing fun shit that I want to do. That I'll be doing for the rest of my life. Travel, I don't know if that will be part of it for the whole time. How did you balance the experiences with travel and the editing of your videos at the start? At the very beginning of traveling and creating content, it was a lot of work. You're traveling constantly, you're learning how to travel. I was 18 when I first started traveling the world, and basically you're filming videos and you're editing them immediately. There were days where you're working like 12, 14 hours, and I say like working, it wasn't really work because I enjoyed it, and that's the beauty of this, is that I enjoy it. I don't see it as work. I wake up, I'm like, fuck it, I get to look at these videos, I get to coordinate with my team, I get to research these different destinations. But at the very beginning, there's a lot of editing involved. For many years, I was just a one-man team. I was filming the videos and editing, just focusing on YouTube. Now we have a team of 7. We're posting on multiple platforms, multiple accounts. There's probably like 30 to 40 pieces of content that get posted every single day. And it's a lot more fun because personally, I don't really enjoy editing videos. I get these YouTube videos edited by my team member, Randy. It goes through another team member, Alex, and then it goes through to me, where it's like 90 to 95% of the way there, and I just add in the little touches. And there was a learning process to get all the team members there to kind of figure out what style I wanted, what to include, what not to include, and now we're there, where for the most part the videos are pretty good once they reach me, but I just add in just a few little changes to make it 100% my style. And I'll say this now, I would never post a video that like I don't think is me. Like every video that gets posted is what I would have actually edited if I was doing the whole process. So it is still like my decision. I spend sometimes multiple hours on videos, complicated videos, sometimes a day. But I genuinely just don't really enjoy the editing process. And then the short form stuff and the Facebook videos and all those other pieces of content that get posted, I've never edited a single one of those. I don't enjoy editing those. I love watching them because they're funny as fuck, but I don't edit any of those. What's one thing you wish you knew before turning travel into a career? Great question. Wow. What's one thing you wish you knew before turning travel into a career? From the positives, I would say just how fucking fun it is. The people that I get to meet on a daily basis, the conversations that I had or have, the close friends that I have that are within the industry, just the access and the ability to do these things. I know for a lot of people potentially watching this video, and I know a lot of people back at home, they're working jobs that they don't enjoy. They get 2 to 4 weeks off for a vacation and they go to Thailand and just drink, and then they're back to work the next day. I'm well aware of how gifted and what's another word for gifted? How gifted and fortunate I am to be able to do this. And at the time, it was also the goal to be doing this, and I knew how much I wanted to do this, and I knew how much work was involved, and I knew that once I reached the numbers that I had planned, that I would be able to do these cool things. And I probably just would remind myself of how beneficial it actually would be to work hard at the very beginning, sacrifice the things, but I just reiterate the things that I knew at the time. But then in terms of like a negative, I'd also would probably say there are going to be times where you're feeling like shit. There are times where you're feeling sad. Things in your life don't go according to plan. And if I was to nail it down to one piece of advice, one thing that I've kind of really come into terms with in maybe like the past year or so, is just having a deep connection with yourself and an understanding of your intuition and what you feel is right. I think people do not have a good relationship with themselves. They're not aware of the emotions that they feel with certain situations. They're not aware of situations that make them feel a certain way, and they continue doing the same thing and they continue getting the same results. And I think ultimately it comes down to the connection with yourself, of what you want to do, what's authentic to you, how grounded you are. Because there's a lot of people that just don't really know what the fuck they're doing, and they're just complaining 24/7, and they are miserable, which is deeply saddening. But I would say really early on, if I had a deeper connection with myself at the time, maybe when I was like 18, 19, then things could have panned out very differently. But I don't want things to be any different. I love my life now. I love the people that are in my life. But I think 18, 19 would have been really good time to have like that deep connection with myself and understanding of what I really want. But that is part of the learning experience. That is part of the human experience, is looking back at your younger self, looking back at the videos that you filmed and the people that you met, the situations that you were in, and learning from them. And that is actually how you deepen the connection with yourself, because you understand the previous times of your life and how you reacted in certain situations, what felt authentic, how you were grounded, why did you react that certain way to a specific situation. So that's probably the advice, and just generally advice I would give to you. I think at the end of the day, I'm out here alone. There's literally not a soul around here. People and friends and family, ultimately you're going to pass away. You watching this video at some point in time, maybe I'll stop posting, maybe you'll stop watching. The human connection is a beautiful thing, but the connection with yourself is the most important thing, because if you're not happy with yourself, you're not going to be able to give love in a relationship. You're not going to be able to provide for your friends, for your family, if you're deeply miserable within yourself. That got really fucking deep from a probably simple question. Let's find another spot. The sun is extremely hot. There's a graveyard over there. I don't actually really want to move down. I'm just listening, actually. I'm just listening. There's cars. There's honking. But there's an eerie amount of peace. Just over here is a graveyard. There's some cars down there. Here we are. It's not as scenic as the Hormuz Island video that we did, but it certainly is eerie. Like, what am I sitting on right now? A broken rooftop down there. Someone actually asked, like, if you could travel or time travel into the past or the present, which one would you choose? And I would have to go into the past, because if I could guarantee my safety and there were no issues of me coming back here, like, wouldn't it just be extremely fascinating to be here on this rooftop and seeing the destruction take place? Not from like a weird fucking genocidal point of view, but like purely just, it is interesting. It is just fascinating being in these places and thinking back 10 years ago when all these bombs were dropped to cause this amount of destruction of the whole neighborhood, of the whole city. Wouldn't it just be fascinating to be here during that time and experience that. Next question. Starting as an aspiring YouTuber, am I best to build traction and learn short form first? Like I said before, everything is so nuanced. There is no black or white answer. It's all a gray zone. So things like this, it really depends on what you want to do. Do you find short form content interesting? Do you enjoy creating short form content, or do you like long form content? Then from the long form, do you enjoy like raw videos like this, or do you want to be doing highly edited things with big cameras? Do you want to travel with other people like Yes Theory, who are always traveling with people and have a mission and a goal in that video? It really depends like what you want to do, and it doesn't actually fucking matter what you want to do. You just have to start, because what you do at the start is going to differ 1 year, 2 year, 3 years down the track. You're going to change, you're going to evolve as the social media landscape changes. Am I best to build traction and learn short form first? Fucking choose one, like long form or short form, and just do it. The one thing I'll say is that it's very easy for long form creators to do well on short form content, whereas someone that starts as like a TikToker and then transitions to YouTube, they always struggle. They always struggle with the retention. It's a lot more difficult to keep people engaged for multiple hours on a YouTube video in comparison to the brain rot that people consume on the short form channels. So it just depends what you want to do, like what you want to do in life. That is all that matters. And just fucking doing it. How do you find and come up with your more unique video ideas? Very good question. Some of my worst and best videos have come from my autistic friend Kieran Brown. He always just sends me just the most retarded stuff, the most crazy things, and we did a lot of adventures around Africa. A lot of the videos that I filmed there were his ideas, and he's also given me some terrible idea recommendations, so you gotta have the good and the bad. I don't want to give Kieran too much credit. He is quite autistic, but I love traveling with him, but honestly a lot of them are there. But in terms of like Syria, I just think what's interesting, obviously the video, for example, that I filmed here in Palmyra in Syria, it's just interesting. The Americans that were killed there a little while ago, and then the bombings that Trump ordered there, and just the fact that it has so much history, it has still ISIS around, there's so much complications. It's just interesting. I find these things very interesting. It could just be a matter of the things that I find interesting just happen to be unique video ideas that people enjoy watching. But there is like kind of a lot more planning, so to say, of like before a video being filmed. Like I know like what the title is going to be. I kind of can envision the structure and like the little chapters in each video. But it also just comes down to research, seeing what other people have filmed here, seeing if there's a different angle, seeing if there's unique things that you can add into this video to make it differ. The people that are involved in the video obviously make a huge part. The character development, the people that you're traveling with make it unique as well. So there's a lot of variables. It's very nuanced, very tedious. How to start traveling and at the same time making money online. A very broad question. And you just have to start. Believe it or not, everybody, you just have to start. Now, it's not that easy. Let me actually give you a background as to how I started, because a lot of people actually, the questions I should have asked at the very beginning about what camera I use, I should have given a background as to how I got into this and how I actually make money. So we answered the question about the camera. 2, how did I actually start? I finished high school at 18. I didn't go to university. I didn't go to college. I worked as a removalist for about 6 to 8 months, 6 days a week. I saved every single penny. I was spending like $30 on fuel. I paid rent for $100 to my parents, or board, a week, and everything else was saved. I was also selling different things like on eBay. I would go around. We have this thing in Australia called council cleanup, where people basically throw out all their old furniture. So I'd drive around, see if there was any like valuable things in these junk piles, like suitcases or furniture or golf clubs, and I'd sell them on Gumtree and eBay. But basically I did that from, it would have been November 2018 to May 2019. That's when I started traveling. I had around 15,000 Australian dollars saved up, and I began traveling, creating videos. So that's how I actually got into it. Now, a lot of other people ask, like, how do you afford to travel so much? How are you always going on these adventures? And I've had a lot of conversations with people recently about this topic, because people genuinely just are not educated in the social media space and are aware of how much money there is to actually be earned. I don't think it's smart to ever talk like financially publicly to about my like personal finances. But what I can say is that for many years I've been making a lot of money. I am now in a position I don't have to worry about money ever again, and that has allowed a lot of freedom. It has allowed a lot of flexibility. It has allowed me to truly create videos that I'm super interested in, and it also allows me to say no to things. I don't have to do every brand deal that comes in to the inbox and sell out to some crypto meme coin or BetterHelp, for example. I don't have to do that. I can just be me. I can say whatever the fuck I want. I don't have any organization saying to not say this or don't include that, which is a beautiful thing. But there's a lot of money to be made on social media, and there's a lot of factors that are involved with it. But we're talking about me as a traveler. I have over 11 million followers across all my social media platforms. I've been doing this for many years. Every video that I post on YouTube gets over 100,000 views. We get millions of views a month on Facebook. I think 130 million views a month we're doing on Facebook consistently. Instagram, TikTok, all these different things. And with the money that I've been able to make in the past few years, I've invested to the point now where I'm financially secure. I don't need to worry about money and the lifestyle that I'm currently living. I don't live above my means. I don't fly business class. I don't fly first class. I stay in decent hotels. I fucking have never bought like designer clothes. I think that shit is so fucking gay. Anyone that does that is actually the easiest way to show that you're actually poor, is like buying designer clothes. It's this could be a whole fucking video on itself. I think it is the most loser attitude ever. But people are just not aware of the money that there is to be made. I know people that have like 20,000 followers on Instagram and making 6 figures a month. Like, it's literally fucking crazy. And people just simply are not educated because they're unaware. It is still a new thing. Social media is a new thing. With these new platforms, there's new monetization opportunities. People are not aware of the money that there is to be earned simply because they have not been educated and exposed to people that are actually doing it. So maybe this is your first amount of exposure to this, and maybe you can learn more about it if you're interested in it and research it and look at more videos and people that are doing similar things. But how to start traveling and at the same time making money online? It depends what you want to do. That's the question of the day. What do you want to do? What are you interested in? Are you interested in marketing? Are you interested in sales? You can be a remote sales call, living wherever you want. Like, the main thing is that you have to figure out a way to earn money without being location dependent. If you want to travel, you need to be able to have the ability to work from your laptop, work online in anywhere in the world. And there's many ways of doing that. In the past, actually, when I first started traveling, when I started traveling again after COVID, I was still doing like marketing for clients, like social media marketing, ads, and that was also another way that I was earning money when I got back into traveling after COVID. And that's really when everything kind of like started to boom off for me during COVID. But it just depends like what you want to do. Like, how to start traveling at the same time make money. Like, travel is such a broad thing. Do you want to go and live in a place for a month, or do you want to be traveling every single day to new places? If you're choosing to choose, we won't actually cut that out. As much as I'd love to have cut out me saying choosing to choose. If you choose to travel a new place, a new city every single day, your routine's going to be kind of messed up. You're not going to be able to hop on calls or manage clients. The best option is probably creating videos because you're just doing interesting shit. But if you want a more chill life, you want a routine, you want to go to the gym, you're probably best on doing social media management, video editing, just working with people, just providing value. That at the end of the day, that's all it comes down to. The amount of money that you can earn online purely comes down to the value that you provide, and it's going to be different. Someone that has the same offer to me or somebody else, it could be different value. Maybe it's something that I don't need. I have a lot of people in my DMs about video editing, people wanting video editors or asking to edit my videos. I already have a team of video editors. I've already figured out my hiring process and how I bring new team members on and onboard them. So when someone inboxes me that, it's not very valuable, but someone that's looking for an editor, it's valuable. You just have to create value and be able to make money online. That's the main thing, is location independence. That's an absolute non-negotiable if you want to travel, obviously. Here's the question: if you got a chance to go to the future or go to the past, which option will you choose? I'd have to go to the past. I think it'd be interesting going to a place where it is now, like where I am here in Jobar, and seeing different versions of it throughout the course of history. I think it'd also be interesting to go to the pyramids to see when they were really built and if it was aliens. Did the Egyptians really build the pyramids? I don't know. Maybe it was aliens. You never know. Question everything, everyone. Everything. Since you're a full-time traveler, how do you manage loneliness and how do you manage it? In the past year, I've really focused on traveling with people, good people that I get along with. People like my good friend Harry Jaggard, my good friend Kieran Brown, World Nomac, the Don Rob, Go With Ali, many others. Here in Syria with Arab. It's so much more fun traveling with fucking people that you get along with, that you can just chat shit. You're just having a good time, experiencing these things. So a lot of the time I'm not very lonely. In pretty much every country that I visit, I have a connection there of someone that can show me around, someone that is from there that I can speak to, that I can film with, and it's not super lonely. And keep in mind, the internet is such a powerful thing, as that, like, I literally text all my friends every single day. All my friends are global, traveling around the world, doing different things, doing cool things. We're texting, we have group chats. Like, we're not seeing each other for multiple months. I text my family, I text the people back home. The internet's a great thing. You don't really experience loneliness. I will say that when I leave a place like Syria, where I've had such an amazing time, and kind of go back into like the routine, normal life, there's like a transition period where actually the biggest trip was the 2-month trip, 1 month in Africa with Kieran, a bunch of others, and then 1 month jumping between like the UAE, Dubai, and Cyprus. That trip was like super high energy. Almost every single day for 2 months, I was with somebody. And then going back to Bali after that, there was a transition process for a few days of like getting used to my own company again, which I do enjoy. It allows me to like recharge and be able to just like understand what I was actually doing and traveling, and just like think about the things that I learned there. But there is a transition process, but I'm very comfortable with my own company. I'm very comfortable with other people's company. I enjoy time by myself. I enjoy reading. I enjoy writing. I enjoy planning. It really is not lonely. But there are obviously times where you do feel lonely and you're wondering, why am I in this random foreign country doing this? Like, what is my purpose? What am I actually doing? There are definitely periods like that, but you know, you go back to the fundamentals: work out, eat good food, go and hang around good people, call someone. I have plenty of friends that I can immediately call and talk about certain things with, be very vulnerable and honest, and get some advice from. So I'm very I'm very grateful for those friendships. And I think maybe something that I spoke about in the last Q&A was that I feel really bad for the people that don't have like really good friends and a good network of people that they can trust and rely on. There's a lot of people around the world that just sit at home and don't have any true friends. I would suggest to try your best just to meet people that have the same interests as you, whatever it is. Sport is obviously the easiest one. There's a lot of places around the world that have different things that people are congregating because of their shared interests in that specific sport or that specific idea. So I'd really suggest to the people that don't have friends to just go and meet new people, push yourself outside of your comfort zone. What are some advices you want to give to teenagers? Well, I look back at the teenager that I was, and I was highly emotional. I thought a lot of things mattered when they really don't. And I think that's the best advice that I can give, is that you look back, or for me, I look back at moments when I was 15, 16, 17, I thought it was the end of the world. A girl broke up with me, or something happened, the teacher got angry, or I was embarrassed in public. And in the moment, I thought that it was the end of the world, that nothing was ever gonna go right. And I look back at it now, like such a small, minute thing. And I think that is a huge realization that I'm content with now, is that these huge issues, these huge things and problems that you have into your life, they're not actually that big. In a year now, in 2 years from now, you're going to look back at that and laugh at it, like, why was I overthinking this? Obviously, there are certain things that genuinely are life-changing and that are actual issues. But for the most part, there's a lot of things that we worry about that are just not needed to have time or emotional energy spent worrying about. I got a haircut yesterday because I hadn't had one in like a month. And then I bought a new hat because I lost my hat. Maybe I'll take that hat off for a little bit. My hair is receding. We are going to be going to Turkey at some point in the future. Any Turkish companies want to pay for my hair transplant? I'm down. That's the other cool thing, actually, if we go back maybe like 10, 20 minutes to what I was saying about the monetization opportunities and how much opportunity there really is in social media. There's so many things I can get for free, which is like really cool. I know multiple people that have had insane experiences, like literally getting paid to have hair transplants, people that are getting paid to stay in the best hotels in the world. We have a lot of those opportunities as well. So not only can you earn a lot of money, you also get access to a lot of opportunities. And it all comes down to attention. Attention is the currency. Being able to have your attention right now, that is valuable for me to earn ad revenue, to pitch to brands and say, these people are listening to me talk. They trust me. They watch my videos. And that is when advertisers come in and actually, place ads. So attention is the currency. That is all it is. The more attention in terms of viewership, the people that are encapsulated by your videos, that is the currency. Do you have any tips, tricks, or advice for first-time solo travelers? I have plenty. Which ones do you want? Nothing is ever going to go to plan. I think that you should keep your itinerary as open as possible. Just go to a country for 2 weeks, maybe book the first night and see the people that you meet and go along with them. Be very flexible. Be aware that things are probably going to be going wrong, but it's all a part of the learning experience. You constantly have hurdles, you constantly have hiccups that you have to problem solve to get through. And that is the learning experience of travel, is because everything you experience, everything that you see, just at the start of this video, I was trying to speak to a guy that didn't speak any English. I don't speak any Arabic. I'm trying to see if he's going to get angry at me for being on top of this building right here. And these are all little problems that you analyze, and the next time that these problems come into play, you will be able to do it again in a better way. You will learn from your experiences. So be aware that things are going to go wrong. You're going to meet people. You're going to meet interesting people. You're going to meet bad people. You're going to meet a lot of people when you start traveling, and you're going to be learning a hell of a lot. Don't be so critical on yourself. I think it's very different for me traveling, because the videos and the content is obviously a priority for that. And a lot of people ask, do the videos actually, or you having to film the videos in these countries, take away from the experience? I have a business around travel. My business interests are around creating travel content. So when I think of travel, when I go to these places, the people that I meet, a lot of it are aligned with my business interests, because that's what I enjoy doing. But if I was just traveling, not filming videos, I'm not entirely sure what my purpose would be. So it's very easy for me to go to these places because I know my purpose. I know that I want to create the best videos possible. I want to create entertaining videos. I want to just do fun shit. I want to explore and meet new people. So it's very easy for me to come to a new place and just do that because I know the purpose. I wouldn't know what to do if I just did like a 6-month backpacking trip with like nothing really, like with no like goal at the end of it. When I started traveling, the goal was to build a YouTube channel and to create the videos. I just personally am not interested in what people do like a 1-year gap year where they're just like traveling. I like to like build things. I like to be, obviously financially successful, be financially independent. I was always working towards that. That was the goal, so that I could continue this without having any worry about money. But it's going to be different for everyone. It's going to be different for everyone. Just do what you want to do. That is the beauty of life, everyone. It's like a game. It's just a playground. You get to do what you want to do. You'll suffer the consequences of your actions if you're a total cunt, and you'll learn from them. But it's going to be different for everyone. That's why it's so difficult giving advice here, is because I literally have one sentence to read off of and a profile picture, and I have no idea anything else. I don't know the other factors that are involved. Oh, the next question is, how do you stay present while documenting everything? Wow. Talk about timing. The question is extremely interesting. And I don't actually know, because it's been so long. It's been 6 years that pretty much every country that I've been to has had something revolving around content, where it's just become the norm for me. It is the priority to come here and film the best videos, have fun, share these experiences with people around the world. I think that there's no difference really, but that could also be a biased take, because for the most part, when I do walk around, I am thinking like, oh, that'd be a cool video. Oh, that would be good short form content. Oh, we could get a photo here. It is a very interesting topic, and maybe I'm too deep into it where I can't even give a rational thought to that. But again, it comes down to what I want to do and the videos that I want to create. But staying present. I think the most important thing is filming the videos that you truly want to film. Be authentic, be grounded, and be aware when you're reaching the points where you actually don't want to film. I think that is not being present. When you're in a country and you're making YouTube videos that you're just like forcing out. And in the past, I've done that because I knew the video was going to perform well. I just wanted to push myself. Those videos, you do not feel present and you don't feel accomplished at the end of it. But I think when you're very grounded, you're very content with where you're at, and you're excited and happy to film videos, then it is being present. But my version of presence is not going to be everyone else's version of presence. People think that because I have a camera that I'm not present in the locations that I visit. But in fact, I would actually argue that it allows me to ask the most interesting questions. I have the ideas and the questions that what I think are interesting and what the viewers will think are interesting in the locations that I visit. So yeah, I could definitely be wrong. You know, I'm what's the year? 2026. I'm almost 7 years deep into creating travel content. My idea of it and my beliefs and bias could just be like off the absolute scale, where a normal, regular human being that hasn't been exposed to it too much could think that I'm absolutely insane and say, oh, how can you not be, that you can't be present, you're always filming. And that's a very valid thing. This is the beauty in life, is that you're going to piss people off when you post videos. You're going to make people upset, you are going to get haters, and people are going to be extremely angry. And that's just a reality. Whether it's online or in real life, saying these things, people will argue with you. You just have to not give a fuck. If you think that what you're doing is right, if it's coming from a place of authenticity, and that is really what you want to do, I'd much prefer to be hated for who I am than to be loved for who I'm not. Having that fake persona, having that person that I'm acting to be. I can truly say that the past year and a half, the videos that I posted, the videos that I filmed, like really are me. The things that I say, the beliefs that I have. that is who I am at the moment. And it can also change. In 2-3 years, I will have different beliefs. I'll have new information from the places that I've been to and have new beliefs, and look back how I'm looking back now to my younger self as a teenager and be like, okay, you did that wrong. That's cringe. You shouldn't worry about that. I'll have this same realization in like 4 or 5 years time when I look back at this video and be like, Luke, you are fucking with the loopies. You are off with the fairies. And I will think about that and be like, well, at the time of filming the video, that is truly how I felt, how I wanted to portray the world. And I'm very comfortable and content with being authentic now. I think it's the most important thing because it radiates off to other people, the people watching these videos as well as the people that you meet in real life. There's a radiation of authenticity. People know when you are being authentic, and it comes with a lot of respect. Even if you disagree with something, voicing your concern and sharing your truth. That's why I deeply respect authenticity. Even people that don't share the same political beliefs as me, people that don't share the same ideas as me, I fucking value and respect people that speak about those things, knowing full well knowing that they are going to receive a lot of backlash. I think that's beautiful that they are so grounded in themselves and aware of what their beliefs are. Because you shouldn't be liked by everyone. And if you're trying to be liked by everyone, it's literally impossible. You're climbing up an infinite ladder. It's not going to work. Top 3 places you'd recommend to solo travel that's safe, fun, and somewhat affordable. The first places that come to mind are in Southeast Asia or South Asia. Is that a fucking bomb? There literally are like constantly bombings in Syria. I was 3 hours away. I was in the city 3 hours before the UK and France bombed an ISIS location, and they shared the video of the fighter jet flying across Palmyra where I was. It was literally above the highway that I was on a few hours beforehand, where ISIS is. But something just went off in the background. In terms of safety, probably not Syria. I feel safe here, but for someone that is traveling for the first time, you probably wouldn't really want to travel to a place like this. It's also not super cheap. I spent a lot of money in Syria. The taxis are very expensive. The hotels are very expensive. You can only pay with cash. But top 3 places, immediately I'm thinking Southeast Asia. You got to go the Thailands, Cambodia. Honestly, I love Cambodia. I think it's the perfect backpacking and solo traveling place because you want to meet new people. If you're solo traveling, you want to stay in hostels, you want to meet new people. I have to say, like, Thailand, Philippines, and honestly, India. India is fucking fun. India is a fun place. The craziest stuff happens there. You have people with no limbs walking around the streets. You just have interesting things. You have luxury places that you can visit. Females, safety, I'm obviously not a female. I have a penis, so I can't comment on the female situation. I have had female friends there that have had negative experiences, and also negative experiences around all parts of the world. But yeah, I think I would probably say like India, Thailand, and South America, because the cheapness and like somewhat affordable thing, you kind of take Africa out of the equation because it's quite expensive there. You take the Middle East, like I would love to have suggested Lebanon, but it's extremely expensive now. Syria is expensive, UAE is expensive, Turkey, I love that place. I think it's one of the most amazing countries in the world, but Istanbul is ridiculously expensive now. I haven't been to South America. Obviously some of those would be on the list, and I do plan on going in the next couple of months. So yeah, honestly, based on the places that I visited, the only real suggestions that I can give are probably like Thailand, Cambodia, and India, I think, or Sri Lanka. But also Sri Lanka is kind of expensive now. Here's also the caveat to somewhat being affordable, right? You can literally live in any country for extremely cheap. It really just depends on what your level of standards are. You can couch surf for free. You can eat like $1 street food. You can walk to all the places that you want to be in. If you're staying in a place longer term, you're not going to be spending much on transport, on airfare, so you can travel extremely cheap, but it really depends on what your style is. You know, at the very beginning, I was traveling on $20 a day, staying in hostels, street food, staying in places for a longer period of time. Nowadays, as my income has increased, I've had lifestyle inflation. I like more comfortable places. I need good internet. I value a good night's sleep. I value having good service at hotels. Instead of catching a shared bus that takes 5 hours, I'm going to catch a taxi and pay $50 to get there in 2. So it really depends on how you travel, what you value, how much you're willing to sacrifice to save money. But really, every country in the world you can do extremely cheaply if you really want. You can fucking sleep on the street, like if you really want to. You can sleep in a tent. You can do a good old Mike OK, and you can sleep in the Iraqi desert. You can sleep in the Chinese desert and not spend anything. You just walk around with a tent on your back the whole day and a sleeping bag. You don't have to pay for accommodation, and you just hitchhike like he does. You can literally travel for so cheap if you want. It just depends on how much you're willing to sacrifice to actually do it. Dream destination that you haven't traveled to. There's a few: North Korea, Libya, Russia, Venezuela. Those are the top 4 that come to mind immediately. Those are ones that are interesting me. Switzerland, I think it'd be cool to go, but you have to do that with friends. I don't think I'd want to solo travel Switzerland. Go with a good group of friends, get a nice Airbnb in the Swiss mountains, enjoy some chocolate, and probably those 5 for now. You never know though. What sacrifices come with an international nomad? Great question. There's a lot of sacrifices that come to traveling and becoming globally, internationally nomadic, and the main one being your connections to whatever country you grew up in, your friends there, your family there. And at the very beginning, it was extremely lonely because all of my life, from 0 to 18, I lived in Sydney, right? So all of my connections, all of my friendships, all of my memories, all of my schooling, everything was to Sydney. So when I first started traveling, everything that I had known, every person I was connected to was back home. So I missed it a lot. But now that it's been 5 to 6 years, I just have very few connections there. Friendships fade out, your interest in your hometown diminishes, and most importantly, globally, I just have a lot more connections to different countries. So it's kind of like a slow burn process where like slowly you reduce the connections that you have to your home country. You get those new ones that become more global, or to the new country that you are visiting where you're spending a significant amount of time in. That is kind of how it works. But at the very beginning, it was extremely lonely because I didn't have other content creators or other people that were traveling that I knew, that I was good friends with. I knew people, but it was more just like an acquaintance level. You weren't actually proper friends. Now I can safely say that the people I have around me are extremely close friends, and we're all interested in the very similar things. That is probably the biggest sacrifice. Now, in terms of family, when I first started traveling, all my family was at home in Sydney. Now, only my mum lives there. So my sister and dad both live abroad, and that is one sacrifice that I had to do early on, is obviously not spending as much time with them. But I think that spending less time with your loved ones and friends actually makes you value your relationship with them greater. The moments that you do spend with them, you are so much more present. I only see my family maybe like 2 to 3 times a year now, for a few days. But the times that we do have are incredible because we're both very present, because we cherish those moments. We are aware that these moments don't come very often. And I think that when I was maybe 18 and saving up to travel the world, living at home, I began to resent my parents to an extent, just because they were always there. If you spend so much time with somebody, you inevitably will get bored with them, and that's my belief. I think it's important to not spend a whole lot of time with everyone. Have your time alone, have your time to recharge, go and experience new things alone, and then also cherish the friendships, the relationships and family that you have in your life. But I think it's a net positive, actually. The fact that I'm spending less time with my family has actually grown our relationship and our connection. Luke, if you ever got the opportunity to settle in Pakistan after retiring, would you do it? First of all, I am like 25 years old. I'm not going to retire for like 50 years. So I have never even thought about retiring once. But in Pakistan, probably not. I'll just give the honest truth. Like, it's a cool place to be there for a few weeks, but it's probably not somewhere where I'd want to retire. My idea of retirement, not that I actually really ever have thought about retirement, but I don't see retirement as like you stop working and then you sit on the beach with your like savings and your pension or whatever it is and drink bintangs for the rest of your life. I don't see retirement as like that. I actually like enjoy working. Like, I would be just bored not doing something fun, not working on something. So I really don't see a day where I retire. I'll always be doing interesting things. I could see myself at 75 years old fucking making like wooden cricket bats or some shit like that. Just like doing shit. But in terms of Pakistan, it's an amazing place. The people are lovely, but it's definitely not a place that I would see myself retiring. With that being said, I don't see anywhere right now where I would retire. I don't want to retire, and I don't want to live in one place. Like, I like the fact that I'm fluid. I can move around. I can get bored with one place and go to the next one. I like that. And maybe at the year of retirement, that will change. I want to like settle down and live in a specific place. But at the moment, it's not something that I'm looking at. What do you think the version of you from 6 years ago would think of who you are today? If I was to meet the 18-year-old Luke, I would look up to him. I truly would think that he is the person I wanted to be. Someone that has achieved his goals that he set out when he was a young kid. Someone that is able to travel the world, that is able to create videos like this and inspire millions of people around the world. I'd be extremely proud, and I'd ask him a lot of questions. I'd ask him what it's like. I'd ask him, was it difficult? And I would probably tell younger Luke that there's going to be difficult times in life. You're going to experience negative things, but it's all a learning process. Everything in life you're learning from. The conversations that you have, the experiences that you have, you're all learning and figuring out what it is that you truly want to do. And I'd tell him that you're going to fuck up, you're going to make mistakes. These mistakes aren't as big as they may seem at the time. But I think the younger Luke really would like look up to him. I think that he would see me as I am now, very content, very happy with what I'm doing, grounded with who I am, being authentic. He'd look up to him. I think he would. And I think that it would be someone that he's inspired by. I think so. Why did I include this one? You once said you have an 8-inch dong. Were you joking? I was joking. My penis is tiny, like super small. I don't know what the obsession is. I will say in the past like 6 months, my DMs have been increasingly weird. Let's just make this clear. I am a straight male. I am attracted to females. We said it there. The answer is there, everyone. You can stop DMing me. I have the fucking weirdest DMs. People wanting to buy my sweaty socks, my underpants, my shoes. People asking questions like this. Being so interested in my 8-inch dong. It's crazy. So, not attracted to men. As many of you would love that to be the case. Unfortunately, it's not. And I think I actually included a question in here. If we don't get to it, I'll say it now. But I'm also not interested in ladyboys. I know we filmed the video in the Philippines, And Jewel is a wonderful human being. We have a great friendship, but nothing happened after that night. See, now I just fucking laughed at that as a joke, and people are gonna not think that the past 2 minutes was serious. I'm not attracted to ladyboys. I do think that sleeping with someone with a penis is gay. I am not gay. People have different beliefs in that. That's okay. You do you. Whatever it is that makes you happy. Let's put this into a hypothetical situation, because I've been in this situation multiple times where you're walking down the Philippines or you're walking down a street in Thailand and you see a beautiful woman. You can acknowledge that someone like that is beautiful. What makes it gay is when you know that they have a penis and then you sleep with them. That's gay. I've never done that. But I acknowledge that there are some beautiful ladyboys out there. They are extremely beautiful, and it confuses me. I'm like, am I gay? But now that we have that out of the way, you've all come for the Q&A, you've got the answer that you wanted. We'll clickbait it again, we'll add in, are you gay, like we did last time in the thumbnail, and everyone was trying to find the timestamp in the comments about whether I said that I was gay or not. We'll actually do this again, and you actually get the answer. So I'm a straight male, I'm attracted to females, and that's all there is to say. What's the safest country for a man or woman to solo travel? Easy answer there, the United Arab Emirates. Easily the safest country in the world without a doubt. There really is actually no other option. Maybe Qatar? Dubai, UAE, has to be UAE. Let's change locations. What are we thinking? I'm looking for another rooftop. There's a cemetery there. There's that building. The issue is a lot of these places, we've got to stay on the roads. I went a few weeks ago, it's still in the city, but into like the super destroyed area where there's no roads. There's landmines everywhere. So that is an issue. If we can make it... I don't want to fucking go near the edge, that's so stupid of me. Maybe we can make it to one of those buildings. We'll see. Oh, I will say, me and Arab, my buddy, we shot a podcast here. Where actually is that? It's been posted on his platform, Taboo TV. And eventually I'll post it somewhere. The thing with like routine, as we've discussed a fair bit in this video, and like traveling for a month and a month off, is that like I go heavy into filming for the periods that I travel, right? And then, oh, this would actually be a cool spot. One of these little rooms. I travel intensely getting content for like a month or so, and then the next month is actually like organizing that content and figuring out what it is, where it's going to be posted, how it's going to be posted, etc. Wow. Isn't it just insane? Like, this is a mosque, right? You can see the pillar that's been blown off. And when I was walking in, there were people like praying. I've actually been inside of that mosque. It's quite beautiful. I stopped filming. I was like, I have to fucking film. This is so sketchy. Anything could break at any point in time. I'm not even going to do it for content. Who do I think I am? Yeah, we could actually set up a location here. Maybe on one of these rocks. But what was it? Was I not filming the whole time? Apparently I wasn't filming for like the past 5 minutes, but we found a new location. We have found inside. Over there's some old like Arabic piece of paper, like books. It looks like a ceremony of, or like a wedding invitation of some sort. We found this new location and created a handy dandy flat stand with the rubble of the building. Are you religious? This is a clip that went... Oh, there's someone walking in. There's footsteps. Why am I so scared? I'm just chilling. Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I don't know why I'm tweaking out so much. My friend Rita, when I told her that I was coming here by myself, she was really concerned. She's a local here. So I haven't been to these places by myself before. So I don't know. It's always different when a local tells you these things rather than just like the media. Because this is like, think about it, this is someone's home. Someone used to live here. Maybe they think I'm trespassing. We've escaped. We're back. The reason I say there's like tons of missiles still here is that when I was here a few weeks ago with some friends, one of those guys had been here a few months ago from that time, and there was still a missile literally in this exact spot right here. It's since been removed, but he showed me a photo of it. Maybe we just park up in one of these little corners. I don't want to go that way, that's off the beaten track. We go this way. Wow. The extensiveness of this destruction. I think when you visit different places in the world, like I do, and see the destruction like this, some people, man, are just fucking evil. Some governments around the world are just so fucking evil. And we like to think that we have learnt from history and that we would have done this if the time had come again, and yet here we are in 2026. Genocides are still taking place. Corrupt governments are still bombing civilians. The kids in Gaza literally have no hope of life. Imagine this is your home, and this is where you grew up. A kid that doesn't know anything. All he knows is just when there's helicopters and drones, you run and you hide. Also, under the city, actually, there are a ton of different tunnels, because this city, despite it being so close to Damascus, about 10 minutes, it held the front against the Assad regime, and it took Assad so long to eventually get everyone out of here, and as you can see, literally just destroy the place. But during the time that they were still fighting, they would build tunnels underneath, under the schools, under the apartments, under all the places. I've been down a few of them. This actually could be one over here. I've been down a few of them. They're extremely sketchy. Let's find a spot. Let's find a nice little rock here. I like this area. This area is nice. Did I really just say that? Those words actually came out of my mouth? The next question we have is, are you religious? Now, when I posted my answer to this question last time, it got so many views on Instagram. There were so many people, Muslims arguing in the comments, Christians arguing in the comments, atheists arguing. I just find religion so interesting, and how it controls the world, and how powerful it is, and how people band together for a specific religion. And what I find most interesting is like the comments of these videos is like, may Allah guide you, or may you find Jesus Christ, and all these things. I've never really understood why people comment that. Obviously they have the belief like so deep into their heart that their God is real, and maybe they're trying to help me seek their God because they're so convinced, absolute, with 100% conviction that their God is real, that they're trying to help people do it. But I think it's just done in the wrong way. Like, a lot of people use religion to fear people into the religion. If you don't believe in this, you're going to hell. Or if you don't believe in this, you're sinning, or whatever it is. I don't think that's the right way to go about it. I think that, for me at least, what I'm receptive to is like information and stories of specific religious groups. If someone wants me to convert to whatever religion it is, you're not going to be doing it by saying, oh, if you don't do it, you're going to hell. I think that you should share the beliefs that you have, the benefits of it, how hospitable people are, why you believe in that, and then you're probably more likely to actually get the end goal of someone converting to your religion. But I just find it so interesting. Religion, it's such a touchy subject. Like, I'll clip this up and there'll be fucking idiots in the comments as well, saying the exact same things, like, oh, you're lost, find Jesus, or you're lost, may Allah guide you to the right path. Like, just, why do people also actually like care so much? Like, I could be a specific religion and be an absolute total cunt, fucking doing the dumbest shit ever and being super disrespectful. And some people would prefer that over someone like being an atheist, but like someone that's just genuinely a good person that doesn't harm others. Like, just because you're a specific religious group, it makes you then someone that they can be friends with. I don't know. Like, really, it's such a touchy subject. Like, people get fucking pissed off regardless. Like, you can fucking say anything. Like, I could literally answer this question. This is the funniest thing. Like, imagine this. Imagine I ask this question. I'm like, are you religious? And I just say, oh, I don't feel comfortable saying that. There'll be fucking people in the comments saying the dumbest shit as well. There's literally no winning. There's no winning. And that is the reality of posting content. Posting videos to an international audience, you're going to be subject to everybody's opinions. But I just find it so amusing and so interesting, the obsession around religion and the comments that it garners. Do you ever think about finding a partner or pursuing someone while traveling, or is it too hard? Yes, of course. What I've come to realize in recent years is that my life is very chaotic. I literally just extended my hotel. I don't know if I'm going to Beirut tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to Homs. I'll literally just decide in the morning. No sane person really wants to actually like live my life. And especially no sane partner wants to be living this life with me. You have to be like pretty fucking retarded and pretty crazy to actually like want to date me, because I'm a bit of a fucking retard, I will say. I'm pretty fucking retarded. But I think about it a lot. I think the goal at some point in time obviously is to raise a family, find a beautiful wife, someone that I love very much, someone that is beautiful, someone that I get along with, someone that I enjoy spending time with, and raising a family together, and having little Lukes go out and explore the world. I'll take 20% of the ad revenue, I'll teach them how it's done, and then they can go out and explore these different places. But I also think that it's not something that you can force. The partners that I've had in the past, they kind of like fall into your lap when you're least expecting it. It's such a cliche, but it's not something that you can really force. I think you should always just be focusing on yourself, especially as a man. I think it's very important to focus on your purpose, focus on your mission, do what it is that you want to do, and any woman or any partner that aligns with that is someone that then can enter into your life as a romantic partner. I think it's very important as a man to maintain your mission and your purpose. For me, of traveling, for me, creating content, doing all these fun activities. And a lot of people get into relationships which start off at the very beginning. I've also done this as well, and I've learned a lot from relationships in the past. But I think it's very important you continue to do what it is that you want to do as a man. I truly just do think there are different roles for men and female in the world, and especially in romantic relationships. I think that as a man, you should be able to provide for your partner. You should obviously be able to raise your kids, and I think you should guide your partner into the life that you want to live. Now, obviously, as we have said in many parts of this video, it's not black and white. It's a big gray area. I'm not saying you guide them into an abusive relationship or anything like that, but the man's role, I believe, is to be a leader, to maintain the household, to have direction, and that's just my belief. And it could honestly could change in a few years' time. Maybe I have a different experience. But the times that I felt most lost in my life have been when I've had a partner and I haven't focused on my true purpose and my true mission. That's when I felt most lost. As soon as you, as a man, lose your purpose and your mission and the thing that's driving you every single day, everything, whether it's romantic relationships or just general well-being, a lot of those things suffer. I think that the purpose, the mission that you have should be the number one goal. I've come to realize that at this point in time, hey, I'm open to anything. If someone that I would deem a good partner comes into my life, then obviously the conversation would be open, and I could potentially date that person. But the end goal for me is, I do want to have a family, I do want to have kids, I do want to raise a family. That is the end goal for me. I'm still 25 years old. I have a long time until I'm not fertile. How the fuck am I talking about fertility on this channel? So I have time to explore, to see, to continue traveling and doing what's best. And I think also, as we've said, I think it's very important to do what you want to do, right? And you're going to have to sacrifice certain things for other things. Me constantly traveling, that is a sacrifice on potential relationships around the world, because I'm not in one place at a time. Now, if I really wanted to prioritize and value it, I could reduce the amount of travel that I do. But right now, I just want to travel. I want to create videos, just hang out with friends, just enjoy life. If someone happens to fall into my lap at that time, then I'll be open to it. But I don't think it's something that can be forced. Because I also believe that a lot of people settle for someone that they're not happy with just because it's comfortable. Especially if you're in a relationship and things are a bit rocky, like year 1 or year 2. And deep down you know that it's just not the right person. Your life is different, your goals are different. Look, there's a car. Our first human in like 2 hours. But hey, everyone's gonna have different beliefs on how partnerships and relationships should be. Some people think that, you know, it's all equal. What I will say actually is there's so many fucking pussies in this world, especially men. Like people saying that, oh, we should 50-50 the date. Like any date that I go on, I'm paying for the bill. Like if you cannot afford to pay for a girl's dinner, you are not in a position to be able to date. Maybe after like 5, 6, 7 dates, or once you become official, or whatever the fucking term is nowadays, then you have the discussion about how we're going to split finances, or whatever it is, or move in. Then you have the conversation. But like for the first few dates, the guys have to pay for the bill. Like it's a non-negotiable. Any man that tries to split a bill on the first date, you're such a fucking pussy. Like what are you doing? What are you doing? You need to be able to provide for a woman financially, and also just in general, you just need to be able to provide emotional stability, financially. There's a car coming, it might hit me. We're just filming a Q&A about men and women, my friend. Hopefully it's not the CIA. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? Are you a vlogger? How are you? Oh, you're a journalist. We've got journalists. I only speak English. Yeah.
Friend.
La. What are you TV? Television?
Television.
Yeah? Oh,
Jazeera.
Al Jazeera? Yeah. Oh, well, mashallah. Yalla. Habibi. Oh, they're gonna try and get me onto the fucking Syrian TV.
معك ورقة
شو؟
تصريح
ها؟
فوتو
Yeah.
تصريح
I don't understand.
شو القناة شو الجهة تلفزيون واي
No, is this television?
انت شو يوتيوب
Oh, this is just like a question video. Nothing's easier in Syria, I tell you. Gotta change these SD cards. We should probably get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna change SD cards so I can hide this footage. Man, they're so weird about fucking filming here. I'm literally talking about men and women, about masculine and feminine polarity. I'm gonna have to change SD cards. So we're gonna make a swift exit because we've been around this area for a while. I don't know why some countries, they're just weird about, but it honestly makes fucking sense because some people on YouTube have more reach than all the big news stations. So maybe not, but what was he? Al Jazeera. I was just hoping they weren't gonna like do a Syrian TV thing for me. I want to always lay low in these countries. This has been the one exception where I've kind of posted live whilst I've been here, and it has made me a bit uneasy because usually I film all the content, I leave the country, I post it, and it just makes me feel a lot more safer during the time. The reason I did it for this trip is because I was here for Independence Day, and it was obviously a time-sensitive video, so I got it up that night. But even actually entering Syria for the second time here, I almost got refused entry because stupidly I said I was a YouTuber. I've never said that before, and I thought for some reason it'd be a good idea to say it today. It was on New Year's Day. I was a little bit hungover from the night. I wasn't thinking straight. Really hope those guys don't come back. I'm looking at the camera. I gotta get... All we have to do is get into a taxi and yalla, then we're good. شكرا. شوي عربي. شو اسمك؟ شكرا. Okay, thank you. It's fine. شكرا. Alright. We've made our swift escape out of Jobar. A lot of people speak about like safety when traveling. So it's a whole different element when you're making videos, especially as a journalist. You kind of just learn what situations you should remove yourself from. So I was playing dumb there, but obviously that guy driving the car was a government official. The guy in the passenger seat was from Al Jazeera. He had the microphone and the gimbal for his phone. And the driver was like pointing to paper. Obviously he was meaning permit. He just couldn't explain that to me. You know what's really weird actually in Syria? I've had a lot of like deja vu. Like right then I had deja vu where I was speaking to the camera and then like police came. And a few nights ago I had the same about getting knocked on the door of my hotel after having a phone call with somebody, which I did have. Like I called my friend, and when I hung up, I just had like this distinct memory of me hanging up a few years ago or something, and then people knocking on my door. It's very weird how deja vu happens. Anyway, we'll try the cappuccino. 8,000. It was 90 cents, 80 cents. Yeah, good. Cool. It's like espresso, 3-in-1. All right. Well. It's a little bit noisy here. It's not as peaceful as it was before. I had so many questions left. We'll blast through some. How do you manage your fitness and health while traveling? The only way I do it is just 1 month on, 1 month off. 1 month to travel, 1 month to reset, eat good food, work out, focus on good habits. Fortunately, I'm young. I'm in my mid-20s, in my peak age, and it's very easy for me to get back into the gym and within a few weeks put on all the muscle mass I've lost traveling. When I do travel, it's easy with friends to continue working out, but as the trip gets longer and longer, I go to the gym less and less. Like, I mean, now there's been a month and a half, it's like 6 weeks of travel. It has been, let's just say, we haven't gone to the gym in the past few weeks, and we're getting a bit fat. Typically, I just like lose muscle and put on a bit of weight. But then when I get back to Bali, I just literally just eat beef, eggs, cheese, and that's about it. And then I just work out like 1 to 2 times a day. And within a few weeks, we'll be back. So that's in terms of like the fitness and health side of things. Yeah, just generally, like, there's obviously things that I do that are not good for my health, like smoke, especially when I'm in the Middle East. But I think, recently I said I went to Turkey, did all the health results, got all my blood work done. Everything is all good. We only have AIDS and HIV, or HIV from AIDS. That's a joke. But no, everything's good there. So yeah, just like constant testing, doing bloods, scans, and it's gonna be different for everyone. Like, one thing with traveling is I was super unhealthy very early on because I didn't have the like 1 month split. I would just travel constantly. I'd never be able to get into a routine because I was moving cities every single day. But now that I have like a month to travel and a month to like lock in, get everything done, eat well, be healthy, focus on fitness, it's allowed me to actually be able to prioritize. And a lot of people I speak to, fitness is the hardest thing to prioritize when you're traveling, because you're constantly moving every single day. You have you can't get into any routine. Every single day you're sleeping in like a new bed, you have to find new foods, a new coffee shop. It's just like so many more decisions, and then after that day you move to the next place and you have to do it all again. It's such like small minute things, and I'm sure if people were really disciplined and they really wanted to, they would be able to work out and stay absolutely jacked all year round. But it's all a balance, right? My friend World Nomad, how has vlogging changed since you started, and what do you think it'll be like in 5 years? A lot has changed in like 6 years, right? So very early on, you literally used to be able to record like the shittest videos, just walking down a market in any country in the world and get like 1 million views. A big thing that's also changed since then is like short form content. It wasn't really around then. It was during the pandemic that TikTok really popped off, and that's when Instagram Reels came out, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts. So short form content is a huge play, like the clipping of these longer form videos and potentially the short form videos that you'll see from this. So those are probably the two things, but the actual quality of YouTube videos has gone so much higher. You actually have to really focus on a good topic, a good title, and that purely just comes down to more competition. There's a lot of new vloggers that are coming around, and the demand isn't as high. There's just a lot of competition. People wanting to try this out. The accessibility to creating videos on your phone or on a small camera like the DJI, it's very easy to go to these places and create content. And yeah, supply and demand is the ultimate thing. There's a lot of people creating travel content. What separates an average person from a successful person? Great question. And it's again from Mac. Man, I don't know. I think it's all internal, because everyone has different priorities, everyone has different goals. You may not want hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. You may just want to live in a cottage for the rest of your life growing potatoes. So I think internally, if you think you're successful and you're content with the way that your life is going and the people you have around you, then you're successful. Everyone's metrics are different. People have financial goals. People have fitness goals, people have relationship goals, family goals. It's going to be so different for everyone. So I think the only way to determine it is internally, if you think you're successful for the things that you've achieved. I think there's baselines of, I can buy a home, or I can travel the world. Everyone kind of sees that as like success. And for some people it would be, for some people that's like their worst nightmare. Some people don't want to do that. So I think it has to be internally. When you think you're successful, then you're successful. But then now that I'm rereading the question, it could be like the actual action of how does someone differ from like an average person versus a successful person. Honestly, it all comes down to discipline. There's a lot of things that people aren't willing to do in order to get to their goals. You need to sometimes wake up, not want to go to the gym, and push yourself into the gym. You got to do things that you don't want to do. Train that muscle, train that discipline, because it is a muscle at the end of the day. The more difficult things that you put yourself through, the easier it gets over time and the more things that you can achieve. So I think discipline's the easiest thing. Like, so many people have these big ideas and have all these things that they're gonna do. Oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. But no one ever fucking actually takes action. That's what I say to a lot of people that ask for like recommendations on content. Is like, if you just start and film videos, you're already ahead of 99% of people, because everyone just always has the idea of wanting to start a YouTube channel or wanting to start traveling the world, but no one ever actually does it. Once you post your first video, you've already beaten like 99% of the people that want to actually achieve the goal of traveling the world. But I think ultimately it all comes down to discipline. How to pack light. There's only one thing I can say about this. When you travel with carry-on only, you realize how little shit you actually need in your life. I literally only need my passport, my camera, my laptop, toiletries, and like a few clothes. I'm super gross right now. I've been wearing like the same clothes for the past like 3 days. My shirts are dirty, my pants are dirty, my shirt smells like shit. But like, you really just don't need much shit in life. And the thing is that you can actually just buy most of these things. You can go to the shops and buy clothes if you want. You can go and buy a toothbrush. You can go and buy soap. You can go and buy chargers. I have a 3-month rule. If I don't use something for 3 months, then I don't travel with it, ever. I don't need it. And if I do need it, then I'll just buy it again. But I think traveling light and only packing carry-on only is like the biggest travel hack. I haven't checked in luggage for a very long time. Salam alaikum. I haven't traveled with a check-in luggage for a very long time. It's so much more fun. You just hop on the plane, you don't have to line up, you just grab your bag, you immigrate to the country, you're all good. So yeah, I think this is a female that sent this, so you guys have it a little bit more difficult, but you really just don't need fucking much shit at the end of the day. Who's most fun to travel with and why? Kieran, question mark? Kieran's good fun to travel with. We had an amazing time across Africa together. We spent a lot of time in Bali together as well. He's just so fucking autistic. It's so funny. The things that he just says just randomly. He's just a character. But we get along very well. I enjoy traveling with him because he also focuses on the gym much more than me. And in Africa, I was able to stay in reasonable shape because he was going to the gym every day, and he'd be like, Luke, we're going to the gym. And if I said no, he's like, oh, you're a fucking pussy. All right, you're right. Let's go to the gym. So he's great to travel around with. Harry, obviously, we've had some good adventures as well. Spent a lot of time in Bali too. I think the best trip and the people that were the greatest to travel with was in Lebanon in 2025. I was there for the summertime. I was there with Mac, with Ali, Harry, Rob, who else? Arab, a bunch of others as well. And we just had such an amazing time just because Lebanon summer is so much fun. And you multiply that with the people that you're with, and it's incredible. Yo, feeling worn out after 2 to 3 month trips, thoughts and advice. The burnout is real. Acknowledge it. Figure out what you need, what emotions you're feeling, what you're missing, and recognize it. The number one thing I can do is just go to a nice city, go to a nice place where you feel at home, where you have good people around you, work out, eat good food, get good rest, read, journal. Those things always get me out of burnout. You want to write a lot about your burnouts, the emotions that you're feeling, the things that you've experienced, and also recognize when you're reaching burnout. I know now the habits that I pick up when I'm reaching burnout, or when I know I need to kind of switch back to routine life mode. It's when I wake up and I go onto my phone for the first thing. It's when I'm going to bed, it's like super late, 2, 3 a.m. And that's when I know, okay, we're getting close. I'm gonna push the limits. I'm not gonna film everything, but I know I need to get a few more videos, but I'm acknowledging that the burnout is coming. If I don't want to film the videos, I won't. That's when I notice I'm reaching burnout, and that's when I prepare to make some moves to get into more of a routine life and work out, health, all that kind of stuff. But hey, it's part of it. Acknowledge it. People have to realize 2 to 3 months of travel and going to all these different cities and experiencing these different things, you're consuming so much information. There's so many new inputs that are coming into your life. You are observing new cultures. You're observing people. You're experiencing so many new things that people that have a routine life don't experience. So you emotionally just taking in so much, and the burnout is real when you travel for 2 to 3 months non-stop. It's just about acknowledging it, whether you want to continue, whether you want to work out, whether you want to chill for a little bit. But I highly suggest like journaling, eating good food, getting good rest, and working out. Those are the 4 things that are just absolute non-negotiables when a burnout occurs, and getting back into that routine and focusing on those 4 things for me always fix the issues. How to be positive and develop problem-solving attitude like you. I overthink and procrastinate a lot. Ooh, I don't know if I want to be like really harsh here or not, because it's different for everyone. I just do shit. Like if I want to do something or say that I'm going to do something, I'm just going to do it. But it's not the same for everyone. I know a lot of people that have all these ideas and never do anything. But I think like serial procrastinators, you need to stop talking the talk and walking the walk. You just need to actually do. And it could just be baby steps, you know, figure out what is like step 1. You don't want to have to do it all at once if you are a serial procrastinator. But figure out what it is that you can do today to get you to the goal of whatever it is that you want to be able to do. I just enjoy solving problems. Like I just find it extremely interesting, especially when you're traveling. And that's why this career is amazing. It's like there's so many just like little issues, like, oh, why didn't this video do well? Why did this video do well on this platform but not on this platform? Why are people thinking this way about a certain video? It's very, very interesting. It's all problem solving at the end of the day. And that's what travel is so beneficial for. It's because everything that you experience, you're coming up with new problems every single day that you have to solve. And I will say one thing that I haven't mentioned so far is what I think in terms of what advice I'll give to teenagers and other people. I haven't mentioned it on this video so far. Accountability. You need to take absolute accountability for every single thing that happens in your life. Everything bad and everything good that's happened to me is my fault. When I blew up my hand and lost 1.5 fingers, that's fucking my fault. Everything's my fault. And there's situations where you may think, oh, how can that be their fault? Like, this guy is walking down the street, he got shot. At the end of the day, he made the decision to hang out with those people or walk that street at night. When you accept absolute accountability for everything that happens in your life, you have no more excuses. You are the one that put you into that situation. But you need to take accountability for your actions. Look at the people that you're hanging out with. If they're bad people, it's your fault being with them. If you're hanging around a bunch of druggers, a bunch of criminals, these are people that you shouldn't be hanging around with, and obviously something bad is going to happen, or you're going to be put into a negative situation and then blame them when at the end of the day it's all your fault. So take accountability for everything in life. Like just before, I take accountability for almost having an issue in Jobar because I didn't have the journalism. Like that's my fucking fault. I shouldn't have been there. I shouldn't have hung around there for so long. It's my fault. Everything that I have done in my life, both negative and positive, is my fault. My fucking foot is numb. Why is my foot numb? I literally cannot feel my foot. And guess whose fault it is? It's my fault. Accountability. Thank you. Alright, I've been a naughty little boy. I got a shawarma. We have so many questions still to go through. I feel like this has already been a super long video. So we'll eat the shawarma. I literally had like 5 in the past 2 days. So good. Yum. I'm in my hotel elevator. I'm going to the rooftop. Show you guys a good view of the top. Shukran. Yeah, we'll eat the shawarma up the top. So this is like literally the hotel that I've stayed probably like 2 weeks of my life in now. It's so beautiful. Beit al-Wadi. Assalamu alaikum. Kifak. Oh, they've opened up this area. La, yallah, nice. This is the view. Very good. Other huffies. We'll sit down here. Man, shawarmas are just so fucking good. Assalamu alaikum. Could I get an iced latte, please? Iced latte?
Iced latte?
Yeah, shukran. Man. Next question. Looking back at everything you achieved so far by traveling, is there anything you would change? Honestly, nothing. Life's worked out pretty good for me. I am able to do whatever I want to do. I have absolute freedom. I have personal sovereignty. I have great people around me. I don't regret anything in life. I don't believe in regret. I think regret can only be a thing where in the moment where you're actively making a decision, you know that it is the bad decision and you shouldn't have done that. That's when you can regret things. But I try and make the right decision in the moment, and if after that I have new information that makes me learn from that and realize, okay, that was the wrong way to deal with that situation, then you can regret it. But honestly, there's nothing really I would change. Like, it'd be nice to have some fingers back, but that was just part of the learning experience. It's part of my story. Blowing up my hand with a firework. It really all has just come down to like personal like intuition. I wish maybe earlier on I had more of a connection to myself and an understanding of what it is that I want to do and who I want to be. That's probably what I wish like early on, but it's just part of the learning experience. I feel maybe that in the early years I was doing what I thought would perform best for content. I look back at some of those videos and they're a bit cringe, I won't lie, but and in the moment I thought it was the right thing to do. I think that there is no need to change anything. There's certain situations and friendships that would have been nice for a different outcome to have taken place, but if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I really don't want to change anything. Like, where I'm at right now is the dream life that I was wanting to live when I was like 15, 16, when I first decided to go on this journey, and it'd be silly to change that. And there's parts now where I want to improve in certain aspects of my life, in certain areas that I would love to improve in, and I'm going to do so. Shukran. Habibi. Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Shukran. Thank you. Alright, let's see the iced latte. Nice. I've realized a lot of these questions actually come back to like the same thing. This next question is, what do you do to realign when you feel lost? And it's those 4 things that I mentioned. Eat good food, go to the gym, journal, read. That's basically it. Journal about the experiences that I've had in the past months of travel, what I'm feeling, what emotions I'm feeling, why I'm feeling them, and just being completely honest with myself. That's the best way to realign, in my opinion. And then probably the 5th thing on that list is just hanging around good people, or speaking to good people on the phone, people that I trust, people that I value the opinions of. Does your social battery get drained sometimes during your trips? Yes. Contrary to popular belief, I am an introvert. You may be shocked to hear that, because you see these videos of me speaking to everyone, but by definition, I am an introvert. An introvert is somebody who recharges and gets energy by themselves, whereas an extrovert gets their energy from other people. I get drained when I am with other people. Obviously it depends on the type of people and the environment, but I really love alone time and recharging, and I am for sure an introvert. And I hate the word introvert, extrovert, because everyone's like, oh, I'm an introverted extrovert, I'm an extroverted introvert, I'm an extrovert but I like my alone time. Again, as we've gone back to the fundamentals of this video, it's all a grey area, it's all a spectrum. But truly, I am an introvert, and after a huge day of filming where I'm like out the whole day, speaking like this, like even speaking now, because I have been kind of more like presenting and thinking about my words, my throat is quite sore, because I'm trying to pronounce everything as correctly as possible. I'm in more of a speaking voice, and yeah, after like a full day of filming and having all these experiences, you are fucking drained. You speak to hundreds of people in a day. It is a lot to do, but yeah, that's what sleep is for, right? What truth did growth teach you the hard way? I think a beautiful one that I have learnt is that what's best for you is not best for everyone. And there's going to be people that you disappoint making decisions that are best for you. You are only able to control your emotions. You are not responsible for other people's emotions. That is their responsibility. You need to do what is best for you in certain scenarios, in certain situations, and that's all you can do. But a lot of people are people pleasers. A lot of individuals do things to not make other people sad, but that is an issue because it is a detriment to their beliefs and their goals, and is actually impacting their life. And I think that is something that I've learned, and I've gotten, there's like this weird balance, because then it's like, okay, you're selfless or you're selfish, or you just don't care about other people. But I don't believe in that. I think that you should always be doing what is best for you. There's always going to be people that are upset about your decisions, and that is just at the end of the day a consequence of your actions. You need to make those hard decisions and face those tough truths. Otherwise you are just going to get stomped over in life. And yeah, I don't really know when I had this realization, but I learned it at some point throughout this journey. I think it's very important to choose what's best for you. Did your mum watch your videos? What is her reaction whenever you go to dangerous places? Out of all my family members, my mum is definitely the one that is the most concerned, and we have a wonderful relationship, and it's kind of funny because I joke around, about the places here in Syria. I say that I'm going and joining some certain groups, and she always gets freaked out. But at the very beginning, all mums, I was the last one to leave the home, empty nester. She obviously was worried for me, but as part of this experience, I have two amazing parents, and they were very supportive of the journey that I've been in and the decisions that I've made and what I wanted to achieve in traveling the world, and they put full faith in me in being able to do it, and I did it. So I think that nowadays, when I go to these places, like when I went to Iran or Afghanistan or Myanmar or even Syria, she's definitely concerned, for sure. But it's all part of it. She gets, as you do it more often, it gets less and less each time. So she's not as worried because I've been to this dangerous place and everything was okay. And I've changed her perspective on a lot of these countries as well. Keep in mind, this is a middle-aged woman that grew up in Australia, that has the media portraying certain things and saying that certain countries are dangerous. But then I go there and I have an amazing time, all safe. So I think it's been actually nice for her to see a different side of the world. What I will say lastly on that is that even if I did have parents that were super against traveling, which I know there are some people, especially in conservative cultures, where the parents have a lot of influence on their kids and going to school and getting married, I can say this from a very privileged position because I have amazing parents that allowed me to do this. But there are people where sometimes you just need to do what is best for you. Your parents don't know what it is that you truly want to do. A lot of people end up getting doctor degrees or law degrees. They don't even give a fuck about it, but it's just because their parents say so. You have to do what you want to do. Otherwise, you get this law degree, you go and do things to please your parents, and then for the rest of the time, you just resent them because they're guiding your life through a whole different trajectory that you don't actually want to go down. If you want to do something, go and do it. There are plenty of people in this position, which is extremely sad, and I think as a parent, I may not agree with everything that my kid has to say or has to do, but I'll probably look back at this video as someone who was in that position maybe 8 years ago when I was younger wanting to do something, and be like, it is ultimately their decision. I can give them the guidance, I can teach them and question them and open up their mind to different ideas, but ultimately it's their prerogative to do those kinds of things. As an adult, you decide. And on the extreme side, seriously, some parents truly need to be cut off from their parents because of the way that they control their lives. You should not be dictating what your adult children are doing. They are fully grown adults. And I know 18, you're still immature like I was, but it's part of the learning experience. They need to go out there. But I truly do think if you are a son or a daughter and you're living your parents' life that they want you to live and it's not actually what you want to do, it's actually a net negative in the long run because you're going to resent them. You're going to reach 28, 30 years old, be in a marriage that you don't like because your parents said that you had to get married, you had to get this full-time job, you had to buy a house, and you're going to reach 30, 35 and be like, fuck, my parents put me in this position. But you have to take full accountability for it because you put yourself there. What measures do you take to keep yourself safe abroad? Obviously I have travel insurance, that's come in handy a few times. I have a few people and my family on Find My iPhone so they can track my location at all times. That's another one. Typically I have a contact in each country that I go to that I know I can call and assist in any issues. But truly, I really have been very fortunate in the past 6 years of travel to not have many issues when I'm traveling. But also you learn from them, just like what happened before, getting asked for permits about filming. I'm not going to hang around that area anymore. I'm coming back to my nice hotel where I'm safe. It's like a compound. So you really learn. You don't put yourself in certain situations. You don't walk around at night in cities that you know are dangerous. It also helps being a large male. And if I was a female that was smaller, I would be learning martial arts, some defense of some sorts, some self-defense to defend myself. But fortunately I don't have too many issues. with safety. But I'm sure they will come, and it will be a learning experience, and I will take the measures necessary. What advice would you give a 17-year-old that wants to start traveling? Just go. Save up your money. Go to a place that interests you. Don't have a plan. Go and do it. Spend all your money. You can always go back home. Everyone seems to think, like, if you have a gap year and you travel for like 1 year when you're 18, that like by 19 you're going to be so far behind. You can always go to university if you want. You can always get a job. They're always going to be there. But just go for it. Like, what is literally the worst case scenario? You spend all your money, you have all these amazing travel experiences, you go back home, you get a job. Wow. Back where you were a year prior, working in your hometown. There's really nothing bad that can happen. It's just fucking part of life. It's just learning. You just learn shit. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna do things. You're gonna be proud of yourself. You're gonna have negative experiences. But you should just go and do it. If that's what you want to do, go and do it. Go and travel the world, see what it is you enjoy, see the things that you've wanted to see, that interest you, meet new people. Just go and do it. Just go. Just do fucking cool shit. Just do shit. Do you think blowing up as a travel vlogger in 2026 is possible? Absolutely. If we look at 2025, one of my friends, Mike, blew up. He had an incredible year, and he's creating some of the best travel content on YouTube at the moment. With that being said though, it is not just a 1 year thing. He has been creating videos for multiple years, as like many other people have been doing. It's not just 1 year or one video you blow up. You put in the groundwork. People creating content for 5, 6, 7 years, then on the 8th year they blow up. Outdoor Boys, for example. You know, he got extremely famous in the past few years, but he's literally been creating content for like 8, 9 years. Many moons ago. So people seem to think that it happens overnight and it's just like a blow up thing, but you got to put in the groundwork. There's this beautiful quote: a stonemason strikes the rock 99 times without a break, but on the 100th time it cracks. It wasn't the 100th go, it was all the 99 before that. And it's all about consistency. It's putting in the hard work, chipping away at it. Nobody becomes famous overnight, or nobody becomes successful overnight. You look at the biggest companies in the world, Amazon, Nvidia, all these companies, they seem to have just blown up, but nobody knows that they're 20, 30-year-old companies that have been slowly chipping away each year to get to where they are. So I think it's definitely possible. You just have to put in the hard work. It's going to take time. It's going to take consistency. You're going to need discipline, and that's it. It is possible. Why don't you venture in Europe? It will be a change, new continent, new type of content. To put it quite frankly, I'm just not interested at the moment in Europe. Maybe at some point there'll be a draw there that draws me to film there. But much like I didn't really have an interest in Africa for the past few years until most recently, I just go where I am interested. Europe just doesn't interest me a whole lot at the moment. I probably could come up with ideas if I wanted to, but it just doesn't interest me, and the content is shit if you are not interested in the place you are going. I also just don't know a whole lot about Europe. I haven't really researched it, so I don't really know what's there. Maybe that is also part of my problem there. Maybe I just simply don't know what there is to do, but I'm just not interested. What's the ugliest truth about long-term travel that people don't realize until they do it themselves? Probably if you don't have the right support network or group around you, it's extremely lonely. In the very early years, it was very lonely. People not understanding your way of life, the roots that you had back home, everything that you've ever known is tied down to your hometown and broadening your experience, and it's very overwhelming learning all these new things. But I think, especially in the travel content space, the loneliness early on until you like find good people around you, that's what I would say is the ugliest truth. People also don't understand, like these videos, maybe they take a few hours to film. A lot of the other time it's kind of just like sitting in the hotel room on my laptop, like managing things. Like there's all these cool experiences that I have that I get to film, and some things I don't film as well and just enjoy the moment. But for the most part, if you're not traveling with people, it's kind of like you film, you have all these experiences, maybe you go out to dinner and eat by yourself, and then you just go back to your hotel room and sleep and repeat. It's a lot more fun with friends when you can still film and do all those things with friends after and chat shit, have a good time. A lot of the things that I've spoken about in this video revolve around just having good people around you and having a good connection with yourself and understanding what it is, and I think those two things are extremely important. Describe the feeling when you got your first decent pay from vlogging. Wow. I remember actually exactly where I was. I was in Kovalam in Kerala, and I was sitting by the beach drinking a coffee on a restaurant by the seaside, and I saw the first video that was going viral for me. It was when I went into a fire station in India, and I was getting hundreds of thousands of views, and I finally got monetized, and the next day all those views, I was able to see the analytics, and I made 100 Australian dollars in one day. The graph was like a huge spike because I wasn't monetized before that, and the feeling was just that, holy shit, I've made it. Like $100 back then was huge for me. That was like a week's worth of travel. I just extended my travel time by 1 week. It was a beautiful feeling. Like, it was the first sense of, wow, this is actually possible. This is it. Like, I just made what I would make back home in a day. I was very happy. God, isn't it funny? How long ago? 7 years ago. 7 years ago that was. Here we go. Here's one of the ones I answered at the very beginning. What do you do for work and how do you get to travel so much? I make YouTube videos. I post them on Facebook. I post them on TikTok, Instagram, all other kinds of platforms. Advertisers pay YouTube and these platforms to put ads in between these videos, and I get about a cent every single view. I get millions and millions of views per month. That's how I make an income. That's how I get to travel. That's basically the shortened version of it. What were the safety measures of your trip to Syria? Would you do it again? Is it in your top 10 countries? Definitely top 10. Safety measures? Honestly, not a whole lot. I came here very spontaneously. The first night that I came about a month ago, I literally didn't have a place to stay. I didn't know where I was staying. But I think the biggest safety measure was having like a local here, Rita, who I'd connected with earlier in the year, and having someone here that you can like call that understands what the issues are, that has made a huge level of like my safety concerns reduce. So that's what I would say is the biggest safety measure. Like, I was thinking about it today after this incident. Like, I probably wouldn't want to solo travel here, especially creating content. There's a lot of permits you need. There's a lot of language barriers. The English is extremely poor here. It's very difficult to communicate with people. I'm not sure I'd want to come here solo, traveling across the whole country. And there definitely are parts of the country that are extremely unsafe. The northeast in particular. Very, very difficult to get there. I would only feel comfortable going there with somebody that is from the country and also has very good connections. Would I do it again? I mean, I've been here twice now. I probably spent about 3 weeks of my life in Syria. This is the other complexity with creating travel content. I have filmed all this content. I haven't posted any of it. It is going to get clipped up into hundreds of different clips posted across all social media platforms. And I estimate after all the content is posted, it will probably be 300 to 400 million views that these videos will get. It changes a lot when you enter a country that you've never been to, where very few people know you, to then re-entering when the whole country knows you. And all it takes is one person to be pissed off with one thing that is taken out of context to really cause you issues. So I probably would come back. I would reanalyze after all the content is posted, see how it has been received, message my contacts here to see if there's any issues of what I've said, and then make a decision. But that's one thing with these like so-called dangerous and like kind of unstable countries like Iran, for example. I probably wouldn't go back to Iran just because everything there went so viral, and I'm very worried that there's some things that I said there that caused one person that's in power to, just write my name on a little list, the Epstein list or the black list, and anytime that passport goes through immigration, well, you're under arrest, Mr. Luke. What's your name? Bing Bong. How many times are you asked out / hit on by a guy? In person, 0. Online, an unfathomable amount of times. Dude, honestly, I feel bad for attractive females online. Like, your guys' DMs must be so fucked. Seriously. Like, I'm literally just make travel videos. I'm just a 25-year-old guy, and my DMs are already like super fucked up with people sending the most retarded shit. So if you're actually like an attractive woman, God, wouldn't even want to know what your DMs are. But it's just weird shit, man. People are fucking weird. Some people will just never know because they don't have the strange followers, but it's just fucking strange, honestly. But who the fuck actually asks? I don't know if I've ever shown it on this channel. There's this page on, it's like a gay Reddit. I was searching my name up on Google and I clicked news, and then this website came up. And basically for the past like 4 to 5 years, people have been screenshotting my videos of me like shirtless, and basically it's like a thread on like attractive dudes. And it's all just like gay people saying they want to sniff my armpits. Apparently he has a small penis. Apparently his sex tape got leaked. I'd really love to. What else is there? Like, apparently he doesn't shower. All these like things. All these guys just like jacking off of him with photos. It's fucking strange. I gave him a shout out on my 3rd channel a few months ago. They loved it. My little gay fans, shout out to you all. I know I like to make fun of the gays at times, and I use the word gay and faggot a lot, but I do respect you all. Do what you want, do whatever the fuck you want, right? As long as it doesn't impact other people. With that being said, stop DMing me weird shit. Advice for making engaging travel content but keeping it real, not top tips for cities. Boring. I agree. No one wants to be listening to the top 10 things to do in Chongqing, China, or those kinds of things. Engaging travel content but keeping it real. I mean, again, authenticity. It just has to be coming from the heart. What you find interesting, what you want to share with the world. I've always found that the very simple forms of videos are the most authentic and the most truthful. You know, just walking around even with your phone and just like vlogging a 1-minute clip on TikTok of your experiences. Maybe you meet an old babushka and you speak to her about what her life advice is for young people. I've always found those videos interesting, but it's gonna be different for everyone. People consume different things. People find these long videos extremely boring, other people don't. So engaging is so subjective, it is so misunderstood because it's very different. And what I think is perfect or interesting or engaging is also subjective. So you got to put it out into the algorithm and see what actually works. You can actually just genuinely see the analytics of videos and see where people are dropping off, why they're dropping off. There is legitimate strategies to keep retention. You want to hook them in. You want to make sure that the reason that people are watching the video, the hook, and also when they actually get that reason is at the very end of the video, so that you bring them along a storyline. So you have the hook. This is the best example I give to a lot of my editors. Is say we have a food, maybe we're reviewing this iced latte that I just drank, right? So I approach the guy, I say, what do I say? It depends what you want to say. You can say whatever you want, but you want to make it engaging. You want to have an interaction immediately. You don't want to have like 5 seconds of you just like walking through the restaurant. You want to start where you're like asking for something. Salam alaikum. I love this guy. I always say that everything from Syria is from Lebanon. But you want to enter with an interaction like, oh, can I get an iced latte? And then you want to show the cooking process or whatever it is. And you want that to go for like 10-15 seconds. You want to ask some questions. But people here have clicked on the video because they want to see the review of the iced latte. So you want to have that at the very end of the video. But during that process, you got to keep them engaged and interested to get them to what they came for, to get the dopamine hit. Now, that's just like a food related one. But the same goes for other things like transport or like reaching a destination. You have to bring them along and you got to hook them in and then give them that dopamine hit at the very end. That's how you create engaging short form content. And the same goes for YouTube videos. You need to have a topic and a title, and the best versions of these are when it's going from like A to B. It's a clear, you start at A and you're ending at B. So you go into like a road trip and you have a definitive goal once you reach the end point that people have to watch the whole video to actually get there. Long form's a lot more difficult. There's a lot more variables and factors in play, but that's just the general consensus, and it's hard to kind of map that out in verbal speech. I just kind of like have it just in my brain. I just know how it all kind of works. Do you ever get desensitized to the beauty of the world after traveling so much? Absolutely. There's so many amazing places that I've been where it's just, yeah, cool. Recently, just before New Year's Eve, I was staying in a 5,000 USD per night suite in Mayfair, London. I was with my mum and my sister, and it was amazing. It was beautiful. They were super excited, and it was just cool. Like, I've stayed at amazing hotels, it's just not that exciting for me. And yeah, I had many moments there. I was like, fuck, I'm staying in, like, this is literally the most expensive hotel I've ever stayed in by far. I'm in Mayfair, London, one of the most prestigious places in the world. And it's just like, it's cool. Yeah, it's alright. So you do get desensitized to it, but I think that's the thing with everything in life. If you have so much of it, the equilibrium kind of changes, and it's all relative to your experiences. But I think it comes down to gratitude. It comes down to ground it, and not to say that staying in that hotel was not an amazing experience. I was very grateful for that. It's just the immediate emotion that maybe that I would have had like 5-6 years ago when I was used to staying in hostels would have been different to what it is now. I think that's just a reality of it. I try to remain as grateful as possible. I'm extremely grateful for everything that I'm able to do and the experiences that I have. But truly, just some things are quite boring. Maybe that is why I push the limits to the extreme countries and go on these extreme adventures, because I do get an adrenaline rush from it. And maybe when that subsides, then we're gonna have the next thing, which is even more than that, which I don't even know. But it is an interesting thought. You know, I'm able to travel to whatever place in the world that I want to, whenever I want to, typically with amazing people by my side. You do kind of get used to it. It's a very, very interesting question. Hey, this is a good one. How do you deal with haters? Oh my goodness, now you're speaking my language. Hate comments are probably the most interesting thing in the world, because I've never in my life seen a reel, seen a YouTube video, and gone down and just chatted absolute shit. Written a paragraph about how I disagree, reread through my paragraph, and then actually send it. And to make it even worse, the DMs of some people, like, bro, who actually watches a reel and like DMs hate to someone, like, go kill yourself? Like, I get messages like that every single day. Like, how retarded do you have to be to actually, like, comment that? I've never understood hate comments. Like, why are you wasting your time on so many different things? Thank you. I've never understood hate comments. I really don't. Like, where does it come from? I don't think I've ever left a hate comment in my life. I understand constructive criticism, but how do I deal with them? I just don't really care. I almost feel sorry for these people that have such a miserable life, that they're doom scrolling and they see a reel and just the immediate thing that they see is anger and frustration and the necessity to actually like send a message or a comment. I've never understood it, and I feel so bad for these people because they must be so miserable inside. I've also come to the realization that you're not able to please everybody. You could say some of the most positive things in life and people will be angry for whatever reason because of their experiences that they've had. So, I don't know. I think it's extremely interesting, like hate comments and that kind of stuff. I think it also comes down to just you being you. If you feel like something is right and that is your truth and what you actually believe in, you just have to say it. And potentially there's going to be consequences. Potentially people are going to be upset, but again, you are the only one responsible for your emotions and the feelings that you feel. But hate comments, like, honestly, hate comments, it's just fucking the dumbest shit ever. I don't know. It's almost just like comical. It's just so funny that people waste their time doom scrolling just to comment hate. Like, how sad is it that some people are just on Instagram reels for like 10 hours a day, just like, and every single reel they just are fueled by hate. Like, you are literally a human being who has goals, who has things they want to do in their life. And I've never understood, like, people replying as well. To leave one comment on a video is one thing, but like, why are then other people like commenting, arguing with that person? Like, what are you guys doing? It's perfect for me because I get the engagement, I get the extra views, it's perfect. But as consumers, what are these people doing? It's so interesting. It's extremely fascinating, just like the negative and positive emotions of people and what gets people going. I think the interesting thing with hate comments is, like, when I do feel anger towards a reel or a YouTube video, for whatever reason it is, it's more of a reflection of yourself. Whenever I feel an emotion after watching a video, I really look into it. I'm like, why do I feel that way? Why did that make me feel that emotion? It shows a lot more about yourself than actually the other person. And I think it's interesting to dive deeper into that and get to like the core of your insecurities or whatever trauma you may have. Do you still have communication with the trans you dated in the Philippines? Me and Jill, we text occasionally. She wished me a Merry Christmas. As I said at the start of this video, for the record, nothing happened after that date. I know people won't believe me, and it's also funny how people come to conclusions on the short form content, how people are so convinced with 100% conviction that we slept together, but we didn't. Will the amount of times you've had food poisoning traveling have lasting impacts to your health? I hope not. That's why I did this health test a week or two ago, to see like the issues that I do have, and fortunately everything was pretty good and there's no significant issues. The food poisoning, I don't know. I get it a lot in comparison to other travelers around the world. I'm sick quite often with food poisoning. It doesn't last too long. It's usually just a day or two of shitting my guts out and vomiting in the sink at the same time. But I don't think there's going to be any issues. But fortunately, I do have the ability to get these tests done and see what is wrong with me, and if anything is super concerning, I can do those. But I've seen what even is this specialization of the doctor gastroenterologist or something. I saw one of them a few weeks ago, but I think it's just a matter of maintaining good hygiene, good gut health. There's certain things, probiotics that I have that supposedly should help with the good bacteria in my gut, but I hope there's no long-lasting effects. There shouldn't be. All my blood tests and everything came back perfectly fine, so I hope not, but you never know. What is your perception of success? I think, as I said before, it comes down to being internally successful, what you believe success is, because there's different measures that are involved when dictating success. A lot of financial success, freedom, people have family goals, those kinds of things. So I think it's important that whatever you deem as successful, that is what success is. Everybody has different goals. Everybody has different things that they want to achieve in their life. So something like someone that wants to be a billionaire, for example, I personally don't give a fuck about being a billionaire. It'd be nice, but it's not really something that I am actively striving towards to be. But that would be successful in a lot of people's eyes. I would much prefer, for me, I see success, if we were to compare the two, of someone being a billionaire but having to work 14 hours in a city that they hate, or someone that makes $500k a year but gets to travel the world and has absolute freedom and personal sovereignty, that is what I see as successful. That is the thing. So everyone has different measures of success, so it's difficult to give a clear-cut perception of it, but I think it ultimately comes down to the internal belief of success once you reach that level of what you think success is. Do you feel like your religion beliefs have changed over the past years in countries you visited? No, I don't actually think they have. But what has happened is the different cultures and different religions that I've experienced, I've kind of taken the aspects of it that I really enjoy from each one and made them into kind of like what I believe in. I really value Buddhism and the spirituality involved with that, the meditation side of things, the beliefs that they have. And there's a lot of things that I resonate with in Islamic culture as well. But I think it comes down to just a mixture of everything for me, since I'm experiencing so many different cultures, so many different religions. Then putting the things that I agree with in all of these religions, and then making that a part of just like my general beliefs in life. I've definitely become a lot more spiritual over the past years, I would say. An interesting thing in like the past year or so is that I have been praying a lot. I pray quite often to a God. I don't know what God it is, but it is some faith that something is looking over me, and I pray quite often. And usually my prayers are always along the lines of this, is that I thank God for everything that I have, every experience that I have. I'm grateful for it. And pretty much the second part of every prayer for me is always saying that I know bad things are going to happen, and I welcome those experiences and those negative things, because I know that God is trying to teach me a lesson of some sort. So pretty much every prayer always ends in that. Like, I always ask, I don't want an easy life. I know you're going to put a lot of bad things in my life for me to learn the lessons, and if I don't learn the lesson, you'll give another experience to reiterate the lesson that I'm meant to have learned. But that's how a lot of my prayers go. I'm very fortunate for the positive and negative experiences that I have, because there's so many things to learn from these, and I believe God is looking over me, whoever that God may be. It's something that is out there. Maybe it's a computer chip, maybe it's a simulation that we're all in, maybe it's a droid, a robot, an alien. Maybe it's an angel. What is God? Question everything. I think you should question everything in life. As a small travel content creator, what's the best advice to start growing more? Great question. I'm gonna need more information to give an in-depth answer, but post more videos. It also depends on your financial situation. If you're in a position to hire somebody to edit videos, you can have someone create short form clips for you and use that traffic to drive towards your YouTube videos if you're posting YouTube videos. But I think you just have to be interesting. You have to film interesting things. At the end of the day, it is all supply and demand, right? This is why content in, say, countries like Thailand or wherever it is, it's just so saturated. There's not many unique stories there because so many tourists go there, so many people film these videos, and everyone's really seen it. I mean, there are videos there that do perform well. I have friends that perform extremely well in those countries, but for the most part, you want to do the things that are difficult to do, because you're probably going to be the one of the only few people that are doing it. That's why, you know, coming to Syria, not that there's no one that's come to Syria before, but it's just a hell of a lot less people. And me coming here, people that enjoy watching my videos, it's just very, very interesting to come here. And then you have so many places that you can visit, and you kind of do just have to test the limits. It really is just like supply and demand, and it's really a seesaw of how much you're willing to risk and put yourself into dangerous situations to get like interesting content, like going to Palmyra where ISIS was bombed just very recently. I haven't seen a single video there. Like, that video is super interesting. It's very exciting, and because not many people have seen it, it's probably going to perform well. So I think you have to really think of it like that, but it's just so nuanced. The amount of times I've used the word nuanced in this video is it just depends what you want to do. Like, what are you actually interested in? I'm not going to give advice if you want to, maybe you live in Thailand, for example, and I've just said that Thailand content performs poorly. You have so many variables and so many different factors in place when giving things like this. But just post more videos, learn more, improve your speaking skills, learn new words, figure out how to communicate with people more effectively, learn how to ask questions that are actually interesting, get better at holding the camera. I think all these things are things that could be improved on. And if you treat this profession like a speaker, someone that uses their voice to show the world, to explain different things, you can kind of like look at it as like a professional position. You know how in professional sports they go through the videos of the different plays that they do and they say, okay, number 14, you should have gone there, we can do this, the defense is here. I also look back at my videos and say things that I should have said instead of a certain word, or me not looking at the camera, or me drifting off. I noticed a few months ago I was saying everybody almost every single sentence. I would say the same sentence. I'd be like, so we're here in Syria, everybody. Like, why does the everybody filler word need to be there? And luckily I have picked up on it and I'm not using it anywhere near as much, but you just learn. So number one piece of advice, I just learn how to speak better. Just learn new words, read more, speak to the camera more, and just improve. And then from there, learn what videos are performing well for you, what it is that you actually want to create content in. Totally depends on your interests. And then just post more videos. What were your numbers at the beginning? How many vlogs until some growth? So what a lot of people don't know is I've been creating videos on YouTube since I was about 11 years old. That's when I posted my first video. I grew up watching like Smosh and Ray William Johnson, all those huge YouTubers in like 2011 days. And you know, being a kid, seeing these idols very early on, I wanted to be a YouTuber, so I'd copy their videos and make these shitty fucking videos. But that was obviously during like primary school and early high school. It wasn't until about like 16 or 17 I was filming vlogs back home in Sydney. None of those were performing well, maybe a few hundred views, terrible videos, pranks, all those kinds of things. But it wasn't until I started traveling and creating content a few months in, actually. So like Sri Lanka, maybe I was getting like 1,000 views a video. Did some videos in Thailand, same views. Did some videos in India, same views. But it was actually when I went to the southern part of India in Kerala and started filming with my GoPro instead of my G7X, which is kind of like more of a cinematic camera. That's when the videos started performing well, because it was so much more raw. It was a way wider background and people just resonated a lot more with these kinds of videos. So that was when videos started actually performing well. But it was such a long journey of creating content, and not even just posting on YouTube, but like skateboard edits, video game videos. Like I was such a gamer when I was first a teenager, but it's been a long journey. But when I first started creating travel videos, the first ones were, you know, a few hundred views to 1,000 views, and then it just kind of snowballed from that. So it's not just an overnight success thing. This has been a long journey. People may see the following that I have now, where we have millions of followers on all the platforms, but it's been a long journey in the making. Like 14 years my YouTube channel has been active for. Favorite airline in the world, without a doubt, Emirates. Greatest service. Just so comfortable every single time. Cabin crew are extremely beautiful, they're friendly, they have good meals, and Dubai is one of the greatest cities on the planet. Do you look for a partner who shares the same traveling passion, or it doesn't matter? Absolutely, it matters. Someone that I am with has to be someone that is interested in travel, because it is basically my whole life. My business is around it. My personal goals and the experiences that I want to have revolve around travel. And it's actually funny that this is even a question, because for me it's like a no-brainer, whereas others would actually settle for someone that doesn't have the same interests and passions. I just don't see how it could work. Like, what the fuck are you going to do if you're not interested in traveling, and then for 8 months of the year we're traveling? I think in relationships it's extremely important to share same passions and beliefs and the views that you have of the world. Obviously they may change over time as you experience new things, but definitely at the beginning I think that is like almost the like number one non-negotiable, is you have to enjoy travel for me. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do while I'm traveling? Just sitting at home. Have you considered going vegan? Animals feel pain just like you. Fuck off. The vegans, you know, in 2020, 2021, they were huge, but I feel like that steam train has fallen off the rails. There's not many vegans and all those protesters about save the cows and all those kinds of things that are around as much anymore, which is great. We don't have all that vegan propaganda. I love a steak. I would fuck up a steak. I love a chicken shawarma, as you guys know. God, I love chicken, I love beef, I love bacon. It just tastes so good. So no, I've not considered going vegan. I don't think I ever will unless it's specifically for dietary consumption. I will say actually, some of the times that I've felt the healthiest is when I'm purely on a carnivore diet, just eating beef and chicken. That's it. I felt some of the healthiest and felt the best when I'm just eating like literally steaks 3 meals a day. In terms of the animals, obviously we want to make it as pain-free as possible. I don't think any animal should suffer, but yeah, I just love a steak. I love a steak. What do you think about health tourism? Which countries are better for that in general? I think health tourism is a beautiful thing, especially if you are from a country like the United States where you have ridiculous hospital bills and terrible service as well. There's so many amazing places around the world that offer great services for health. Surprisingly, India is an amazing one. I mean, I got my hand fixed there. It was like literally a steak beforehand. But India has incredible health services. Thailand, Malaysia, Turkey is becoming one of the greatest places in the world for health tourism, with the nose jobs, the hair transplants, the boob jobs, all those kinds of things. So I think it is excellent. Not only do you have a cheaper service, you actually have a higher quality service. So I think health tourism is great. There's many places around the world where they are much better, and it's also interesting the alternative approach, because some of the Western medicine, it's just, oh, you're depressed, here, take this pill, whereas in the eastern side of the world, in the Middle East, there's different strategies to actually cure different issues. And I don't think it's just like one way to cure one thing, because a scientist once said it. I think you should explore many different avenues and different kind of health experts, and then make the decision that is going to be best for you. So the ice latte was around $4 USD, 498. We've spoken a bit about safety in this video. I was just going through some Instagram messages because I posted some photos from Syria here. You don't even know until you read news or somebody sends it to you how much stuff is actually happening in a country. Literally, as I'm speaking, there's a huge development about the city of Aleppo. There's a lot of things going on in Aleppo at the moment between the SDF, the Syrian Defense Forces, which are they control the northeast of Syria, and the Syrian government, the people that took control of the country about a year ago. There's a lot of things going on. It's super interesting how these fights are happening just a few hours away. I don't even know until somebody messages me. We got a fresh room. Let's go. Oh, they gave me a chocolate. Let's go. So this is my room at Beit al-Wadi. I probably spent like 2 weeks of my life in this hotel. It's one of my favorite hotels. It's so beautiful, the architecture and stuff. So it's been very, very nice staying here. Should we try this chocolate? We shall. What is it? Little dankalini, I like to call. Ooh. Smells so goddamn good. It's like a advent calendar chocolate. Wow. What is your work-life balance like? How do you separate these as someone who travels? I feel like a broken record sometimes repeating the same questions, but it is pretty simple for me. Do 1 month of travel typically, and 1 month of chill, kind of routine life where I'm able to catch up on the things that are necessary. When I do the 1 month of travel, I'm obviously prioritizing filming content. The other things there are basically like the non-negotiables of what content needs to get published. So we're obviously focused on the YouTube videos. We're making sure that things are scheduled at the right time, and then also like the ideation of videos and what is actually an interesting idea. When I have the like 1 month of like routine where I'm eating well, sleeping well, working out, all those kinds of things, that's where I can plan more of like new ideas, like new pieces of content, or like kind of like expansion, or like what direction I want to take the business, or what things I want to work on. Whereas when I'm filming and traveling and prioritizing content, is kind of just like content is the priority, and then like the bare minimum of like what needs to get posted, that is also what I need to focus on. So some days throughout like a 1 month trip, I'll take like 1 day off just to like catch up on everything, make sure the team's all sorted, all that kind of stuff. But it's pretty simple, just kind of 1 month of filming, usually a month of routine life. Obviously sometimes it's 3 weeks, sometimes it's 5 weeks. This one in particular, I've been on the road now for like 6 weeks. If you had kids, would you culture travel educate them or send them to school? Great question. and I've thought about this to some extent. I would not be sending my kids to school. I think that they can learn a lot more of valuable and useful life skills through travel or other means. My ideal situation, I've thought about this very briefly, my ideal situation with kids and schooling, by the time I have kids, hopefully I'm extremely wealthy and that I can hire professionals and experts to teach them privately specific things that I think are interesting and valuable to the world. I don't think a lot of the things in school now that is being taught, even when I was there, are absolutely necessary. Like, you don't even learn how to do your taxes. You don't even learn how to have basic skills. I think communication skills is one of the most important things in the world. Like, why do we not have subjects that teach that, or like negotiation, or how to speak better? I think it's very important outside of the school curriculum to be teaching your kids different things as well, other things that are actually useful in the world. I think travel is like the perfect combination of everything, because it will teach them how to problem solve, it will teach them how to be independent. Obviously we're talking, maybe like teenage levels, not a 1 or 2 year old baby. But I don't know, it's extremely complicated. It's not something I've had a whole lot of thought about. I obviously do not have kids, so that's not going to be a concern for a very long time. But that's kind of my rough thoughts on that. And it also depends where I'm living at the time. Obviously, if I was having kids, I would want to be settled in somewhere for a majority part of the year. But I am absolutely not opposed to homeschooling my children. I think that it will be much better. And a lot of people say, oh, if you homeschool your kids, you're going to like make them super socially awkward and weird. Look at the kids that I went to school with, like primary school kids, the ones that like picking their nose and snotting in their hands and fucking licking it in the playground, eating sand, eating dirt. The kids at school, the public education, the private education, they're the fucking weirdos. They're the strange ones. My kid, hopefully, by 5, 6, will be able to speak extremely well, will be able to talk to adults and ask questions and communicate with them. I think that's much more valuable, and that's what I believe in at this current point in time. It may change, depends on obviously what the mother and my partner has an influence on as well, and what her beliefs are, but that is generally where my mind sits as of this moment in regards to kids' education. Aisle seat, middle seat, or window seat. Definitely choosing the middle seat. I love having like no room and sharing the armrests with other people. Nah, window seat for sure. I don't really piss on flights, so I'd never even leave. I just like sit down for the whole flight. I don't want to be on an aisle seat being bothered by people going to the bathroom, so always choose the window seat. I always ask for the window seat, and typically I always get the window seat, especially for those long haul flights. How is your life after being a well-known traveler? I don't know if it was the well-known part or just the fact that I've grown into myself and I know a lot more things about myself, or that I'm more financially stable, but life's pretty fucking good, right? I get to travel around, I get to meet incredible people, I get a lot of opportunities from people, and I feel like I'm the perfect level of like well-knownness. Like, I don't have like crazy things happening out in public. I never had a negative interaction with a fan or an individual in person. There's just a lot of hate online. But I think I'm the perfect level where, every couple of days, or depending on the country that I'm in, I'll have someone that comes up to me and says, oh, I love your videos. You do an amazing job. I'm from this country. I think I'm the perfect level of fame. I fucking hate using that word. But it's not obscene. It's not lacking. It's just like the perfect amount where it still catches me off guard. I'm like, oh, the taxi driver knows me, or whoever it is, or someone comes up. It's a lot more comfortable for me being like well known to an extent, because regardless if we want to act as if we don't believe this, but like clout or fame does have its benefits. If there's someone that's exactly the same as me in every way, except I have more followers, people are going to want to speak to me more. People are going to offer opportunities more to me. It is just the way the world works. People love followers. And I have a lot of access to certain things because of my following, which I'm extremely grateful for. And it allows me to film the best content possible. It allows me to go and experience these things. And also is very comfortable knowing that in every country around the world, there's a good chance that someone from that country watches my videos that I can just post an Instagram story. If anything bad happens, I have someone that would be kind enough to offer their help in any country around the world, and that is a very beautiful thing. It makes me feel very comfortable traveling around the world, knowing there's so many people around there. If they don't follow me, they certainly know someone from that country that could help me if I'm ever in need of assistance. So that's really nice to know. Do you ever get homesick? Honestly, no. And I definitely don't get homesick from Sydney or Australia for that matter. The only time I ever get homesick is kind of when I reach the burnout levels where my routine is not there and I need to go back to Bali to eat well, eat good food, work out and hang out with good people. But very early on in the journey, I was very homesick because Sydney was all I knew. It was all my friends that were there, all my connections, all my experiences in life were to that country, and I didn't really have a global network that I have now. So definitely I miss my family a lot there. But as time goes on, it just kind of diminishes over time, your connection to certain places. And based on the time that you spend in a certain place, your connection will increase with the people there. So I don't get homesick to Australia. It's beautiful to visit a few times a year, just very briefly catch up with people, see the people that I need to see, and just remember the good times, what life was like there and what I've become with the goals. And what I've actually found, one of the most beautiful things about going back to Sydney is I kind of use it as a reset point. I can see the different versions of me each time I go back to Sydney. I remember the 15-year-old version where I would sit on the rock overlooking the ocean, meditating, thinking about this dream life. And then every time I go back, I think about that little kid who had that dream. And even the previous times that I've gone back, thinking about each person or each version of Luke that goes back to Sydney and compare him to the last and see how I've grown in different ways. How do you deal with rejection? Now I saw this and I didn't know if it was in reference to like women or friends or being rejected with your camera or whatever it is, but I'll give an example of all these combined is it doesn't fucking matter. Seriously. Who cares if you get rejected? Whether it's a girl, whether it's someone telling you to put the camera down, just if in the moment it's right, put the camera down and then just walk away. Like, it's really not a huge issue. But a lot of guys in particular think that like getting rejected from a woman is a bad thing. It's almost like the easiest way to know that person is not the person you want to be with. If someone doesn't align with you and someone doesn't share the same interests that you have in each other, like why would you want to be with that person? I've never understood why guys and girls, if somebody gets rejected, why do you chase after them? Like, why do you continue to try and pursue that relationship when that individual clearly has no interest in being anything serious with you? You should go and continue living your life, continue pursuing your goals, your purpose, your mission, traveling, whatever it is, and then meet someone that aligns with your values. Rejection is like the easiest way to know that a partner is not someone that you want to be with long term. It shouldn't be like a battle. It should be a mutually agreed thing where you both enjoy each other's company and you're both on the same page. It shouldn't be this huge difficult thing. It should flow. The rhythm and flow is very important in a relationship. It should just flow very comfortably. Shouldn't be many dramas. There's obviously always going to be issues at times, but I think rejection is very powerful in the sense that it's necessary to become someone in life. One thing I do wish I did at some point in time was like door-to-door sales. I know it's not a huge thing in Australia, but in the US, I think it's one of the most beneficial things you can do because you literally get first-hand experience of like rejection and how it actually doesn't matter. And then you realize it's purely just a numbers game. The more doors you knock, the more conversations you have, the more meetings you get, the more meetings you get, the more sales you can get, the more sales you get, the more money you get. I think people that do door-to-door sales, some of the best communicators in the world, they're sellers, they're good at what they do, and those communication techniques and strategies are something that is transferable everywhere around the world. So that is something I do wish I'd done maybe at some point in my life. I never really had the opportunity to do it, but if someone watching this has an opportunity to do that, I think it's extremely beneficial to learn that skill of communication, selling, and then also being rejected, like learning how to get rejected. How do you stay so energetic and motivated when traveling? It's just fun. I just enjoy what I do. Like, I get to wake up in a new country, wherever I am, and I just get to do cool shit. Like, it's just fucking fun. Like, if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be energetic about it. Sometimes you can tell when people are filming videos where they just don't enjoy it. the energy there is just like not it. So I'm motivated just because this is fun for me. I wake up every single day, I'm like, oh yeah, this is sick. I get to go and have all these experiences. I get to speak to new people. It's just something that I enjoy doing and have done for many years. Will you ever share your dating life? I'm sure you have a life behind the camera. We never see that. There are things in life that I just believe should be private, and relationships are absolutely one of those things. I don't think social media is beneficial for relationships in any way, shape, or form, and especially a public relationship. I don't think anyone should know the details about those things, and that's just my belief. I just don't see the benefit of it. How does that benefit your relationship with your partner? I don't see how that's good in any way. I may be wrong, but no, I have no plans on ever doing that, but maybe that will change in the future. But I just truly just don't have any interest in sharing my private life. I think things should be private for a reason, and personal relationships should be in that category of remaining private. If you have a trip planned for content, how do you know when to push and when to pull out? It all comes down to intuition and your relationship with yourself. You should be able to know when you are pushing the limits too far and when you need to leave a country, or when you've gotten the content that you need. I think that there are times in my life where very early on, I just kept on pushing the limits. I felt so ashamed of myself and guilty of myself if I wasn't filming multiple videos a day. Now, I truly just film when I want to. There's many days where I don't film videos. There's some days where I film a lot of videos. But I think really knowing yourself, knowing what your goals are, knowing how you react to certain situations, and also knowing that if you are like reaching burnout, the content that you're going to be publishing and recording at that time is not going to be as quality content in comparison to your other videos. You need to be sharp. You need to be in the right state of mind to effectively convey your ideas and the things that you're seeing, and ultimately create like a storyline in your videos. So I think it's like a deep connection with yourself and understanding of what it is that you are feeling in the moment, and knowing how hard you can push, because there are times where you need to push. There are times where you may not want to film a specific video, but you're going to have to push it. It is like a weird balancing game where sometimes you push, sometimes you pull out. Which one are you gonna do? Average travel niche RPM. You don't need to give specifics. I love the analytics side of things. I do. It is very, very interesting how RPM and views in different countries all work, but there's so many variables involved. The main variables being, number one, your audience, where it is that your viewers are actually watching from. Places like the US or Australia, Germany, Europe, they are high RPM countries because advertisers, the ads that you see on these videos, they are willing to pay more to get in front of that audience because those individuals are more likely to purchase their products, or they're more valuable to see that specific ad. That is when you compare it to places like India or Bangladesh or parts of Africa, where these people don't have as much disposable income, so they're less likely to purchase the products of the ads that are seen. So they're less desirable from an advertiser perspective, and that's why the RPM differs. When I first started making videos in India, my RPM was like 50 cents. Like every 1,000 views, I get 50 cents because my audience there was almost 100% Indian. Now it obviously changes with every country that I visit. Sometimes a specific video gets pushed out to the audience that's there. Sometimes it goes viral in the US for whatever reason. The other major factor is actually the length of the video. If you have like a 10-minute video, your RPM is not going to be as high because you can't have ads or as many ads in the video. This video is super long. The RPM is going to be like ridiculously high because the video is longer and there's more ads that have been played in that. So my videos are quite long, generally like 45 to an hour, and the RPM is pretty good. It ranges between like 10 to 15 USD. Like Migingo Island, that huge video is like an hour and a half. It got pushed out to the US a lot. That was like 35 USD per 1,000 views. So yeah, it changes a lot. There's a lot of factors, but I really enjoy the like analytics side of thing. I find it very, very interesting. On which platforms have you gained more profit? Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or other? Instagram, I have literally made 0 cents in my whole life. I have 1 million followers there, never done a brand deal there, never earned money through advertising there. The two main ones for me are YouTube and Facebook. I started Facebook in 2021 during COVID. YouTube, obviously, I've been on for like 6 or 7 years, but I've earned the most. They are close, but I've earned the most from Facebook, from Meta. Although I think with the way things are going, Facebook's like slightly declining and YouTube is increasing, so it could overtake the number one spot. But Meta, Facebook, that was purely because what we like to refer to as the Goldilocks days. In 2021, 2022, and 2023, Meta was just ridiculously crazy with ad revenue and the things that you could post, and it's always constantly changing. You know, YouTube is very constant. You kind of know what you're going to make each month, whereas Meta, like, you can have an insane month and then the next month will be like terrible, and then you have an insane month, then you have a mediocre month. It's like a roller coaster. YouTube generally is more stable, but there was a period for those 3 years that I mentioned in 2021, 22, 23, where like Meta was just like absolutely insane in terms of ad revenue and also what you could post there. Like the worst videos would get millions of views. Opinion on the UK, the United Kingdom. Honestly, I've been there. I've only been to Brighton and London. Brighton wasn't as bad as I was expecting. And also London, I stayed in a very posh area in Mayfair, so that was quite lovely. But I mean, it's such a huge country, and there's parts of London that are just absolute failed societies. I think the UK is rapidly declining. It is a failed state. They have fucked the country with mass migration. I'm not even anti-migration. I think migration is actually a good thing. But I think the people that you bring into your country from any country around the world should not be uneducated and should not be criminals with crazy beliefs. And Europe has really fallen because of this. Australia, we're not as bad. We're about probably 10 years behind with our migration policies. Fortunately, Australia has actually a decent idea of migration, and we usually bring in educated people needed to fill in the jobs that are necessary. And there was an interesting statistic, and this is why I'm actually pro-immigration for the most part, is that in Australia, the average Australian citizen that's born there actually costs the government around $80,000 a year. But every migrant that moves over here that's educated actually is a net positive of 180,000, I believe. There's some figure like that. And obviously, I believe in the stats, I believe in the analytics. And I'm not anti-immigration. I think immigration is good, but I think countries like Australia, like the US, like Europe, desirable countries need to make sure that the people that they are bringing in are respectful, they're good people. And the perfect example of countries that has done this effectively is the UAE. You have the biggest cultural blending pot in the world in the UAE. Every single religion is there, every single nationality, and it is the safest place in the world. It's clearly possible, but it's because everybody that goes to the UAE, they know they have strict laws where you have to be a law-abiding citizen, and everyone goes there with like a similar mindset of wanting to be better off. They want to grow their business, or they want to work to provide for their family. But yeah, the UAE, they fucking know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They've created an extremely safe society, and a society where everyone respects each other and respects the law, which I think is beautiful. And that's why I said earlier today that it's the safest place in the world. Does your parents' separation affect you, or is it normal for you? About 5 years ago, my parents got divorced, and it was a lot easier on me than I thought. And my first thought when that came to mind was that, first of all, it's not my decision. This is two adults that shared a marriage where they have their own rights to divorce and not be together anymore. But I also thought, why would I want my parents to be together if they didn't want to be together? So obviously it was a shock at the time, but I think it was nice to be able to have like an individual relationship with each of them. And I cherish both of my parents. We have amazing relationships. And yeah, it didn't really affect me. I mean, both of my parents now are extremely happy, happier than what they were during their marriage. I was an adult at the time. I was already traveling. I wasn't a young kid. It didn't really affect me too much. It's obviously sad that we wouldn't have that like family unit, but that's just life, right? Why would I force my parents to be together or have any say in their relationship if they don't want to be together? That is not my say. That has nothing to do with me. And that's just the reality of it. And the final question from Lara. Do you find it's possible to form real friendships or relationships when always away? What I've learned in recent years is how much I value in-person connection. When I am in a certain location or certain country, I value a lot the people that I'm there and the friends that I have. And this could potentially be a negative, but I do find that once I've left and once I'm in a new location, that the communication isn't obviously to an extent as what it was. I like being able to meet people, to have like in-person conversations. I'm not the biggest fan of like texting or calling. I think that's kind of just a waste of time, but like having real conversations and real experiences with people. So what I find is that my friendships are very like location based. Whenever I'm in a location for an extended period of time and the people that I value are there, we have great friendships. Obviously we stay in touch whilst we continue to travel, but our friendships are a lot stronger. There's a lot more bonding when we're all in one place. Now obviously I have people, very close friends of mine that I speak to on a daily basis, whether it's through texting or calling, but it is difficult. But I think you also need to find people that are in a situation similar to yours who are also traveling around the world, or in my circumstance, those kinds of people. And friendships, you're always going to lose friends, you're always going to gain new friends. Some people come into your life for a month, a year, multiple years, or maybe for the rest of your life. That's just part of the game. There's people that I was extremely close with at the very start of my journey that I no longer speak to. It's just part of life. You phase out, you have different interests. Everybody's growing at different times. You have different interests. And I don't think that every friendship has to last forever. It's just part of life as people go down their different ways, the different forks in the road. I think that it is possibly a negative of my lifestyle is the rapid movement and the connections that we have around the world and how kind of location dependent they are. But that's just part of it. I wasn't expecting to go through like the 80 to 90 questions I actually had. Wow. Long ass video. Well, thanks for watching. Hopefully I didn't piss too many people off. Hopefully you got some insight. Hopefully you got some ideas. Let me just make it clear that everything that I said typically has come from my experience and my view of the world. Your situation, whether I answered your question or you relate to it, it's very, very different. There are so many more factors involved with your specific situation. So that's why it's important to maybe take what I say, but then kind of restructure it around to make it suit your lifestyle. You may have family, you may not. You maybe have financial independence. Maybe your goals are different. I think it's very important not to take everything word for word and do exactly what I say. I'm just sharing my beliefs and my opinions. I don't know the people that sent these questions. I don't know anything about them. I'm just giving my immediate answer to them. But honestly, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully, actually again, I'm not gonna say hopefully. Maybe, actually no, I will say hopefully. I will say hopefully I don't piss anybody off, because I don't really want to be a negative individual. Maybe there's something that annoyed people based on what I said, but at the end of the day, it's my truth. I can't control other people's emotions and what insecurity and trauma response they have to the things that I say, but that's part of it. I have good intentions, I believe. I hope you do too. I am going to leave Syria tomorrow, I believe. And yeah, we'll see you next year for the 2027 Q&A.